What do you got for us, Lisa? Hello. Yes.
All right. The battle between Jason Kaplan and Richard and Sal continued well into Friday afternoon as Sal confronted Jason to defend the honor of his life partner, Richard. Sal says Jason went below the belt by calling Richard a hick on Thursday's wrap-up show. Sal claims hick is a racist term, and it's wrong and offensive. Jason fired back, saying that off the air, Sal is a nice guy, but on the air, he acts like an asshole.
Right. Well, I don't know. I talked to the boys this morning about
Really? There's a real animosity brewing?
I just said, one thing I can't have going on around here, that this show is based on creativity and people sort of teaming up and exchanging ideas. And if you guys are like constantly fighting with each other and afraid to talk to one another, then the ideas don't filter down to me here. So, I'm over here in the studio. You guys are over there. So I don't know if this is all conducive to a good work environment.
Maybe it's time for a team meeting.
Yeah.
It's conducive to a good work environment, but not a good work Howard Stern environment. I mean,
right.
And I love Richard Christie to death, but I'm going to give him a little criticism right now, and I love Richard. I think Richard is being kind of a baby here.
He's super sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, look at what we all go through on this show. Robin just sat through 18 song parodies about her vagina. I discussed my heroin. Richard has written heroin parodies about me. My father gets discussed. Howard's incredibly honest. You know what? Gary goes through hell on this show. And part of the deal is you got to have a thick skin, and you come in here if you can't handle it.
I think his objection is out in the hall.
Yeah, this is something different.
Yeah, I know.
You're not understanding what the thing is. What the problem is, that off the air,
right?
These guys have to work together, and what happens is they get so brutal with each other out there that everyone kind of goes, fuck it, I'm not going to go in there because
right. But I am talking about off the air because Richard refuses to go to Will now. Because Will yelled at him and refuses to go to Will and give him stuff to bring on the air. I'm not just talking about him coming in here.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. So that's off the air. I mean,
but that's not something you necessarily expect to have happen when you're trying to get an idea on the air.
Right.
The person you have to go through yelling at you may be a stopper.
It's not like me. It's not like what happens on the air. It's like off the air. It's become such a headache for everyone to interact that they stop interacting.
So you're saying Will is wrong, too, for yelling at him?
Can I talk? Yeah, 1 second. I'm just saying I don't know what goes on back there.
All right.
No, Will's great.
I know. But
all these guys are
whatever
great.
the dynamic is seems to be stopping people from communicating.
Right.
I got to tell you.
So I said, guys, look at that and make sure everyone's comfortable. Yeah.
Morale is down so much in the office because of the conversation that was had here before the show this morning.
Yeah.
Because it's now viewed that this is what's going on in the office.
No, I told you, and I'm going to say it again, because you guys aren't hearing me.
But all of us didn't hear you.
If something is going on out there, straighten it out.
But we told you, and you didn't seem to believe us.
No, I didn't say I didn't believe you. I said, if there's something going on out there, why don't you guys sit down and clear the air? It might be better for the show so that people don't feel inhibited. And you told me some things, and I said, okay, I'm just looking into it. I'm hearing a lot about this.
I don't even mind saying the things that I told you. The office gets along great.
Right.
We work in this environment. We've been working together forever. Everybody gets it. One guy didn't get it, and now it's making it look like our office doesn't function correctly.
It's not making it look like anything. I'm just telling you, if there is a problem, maybe you can help him work through it.
But we have tried, and we've spoken about it.
All right, so then you've done it.
But everybody walked out of here feeling as if you felt the office wasn't
Well, then get the fuck over it.
but that's what we said to Richard.
Yeah.
We all walked out of here.
I said to you, if there's not a problem, then I'm not worried about it.
But it didn't seem like, and Howard, I wasn't the only one. It didn't seem like you believed that there wasn't a problem. You were like, okay, fine.
I'm going to tell you again. I said, if there's no problem, don't worry about it. If there is a problem, look at yourselves and make sure you're not beating the guy down and make sure that he feels comfortable enough to present his ideas. And you told me that you've created an environment where people are comfortable. So I said, okay, that's it. It's not that I don't believe you.
I don't know what happened this morning. Something happened before the show.
Yes, I'm not out there to monitor what goes on.
Understood.
But
do you trust me to handle it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, but I brought it up to you. I said, gee, I'm hearing some things on the air. Have you really looked hard at this? Have you looked at yourself in your role you play and all of that? And I just asked you to check it. That's it. It's not a question whether I believe you or not.
Really, everybody walked out of here feeling as if...
everybody's got to get their fucking shit together.
But what's different than the way we feel? How come our feelings aren't worth anything?
Because if you're interpreting the words that I just told you, that I don't believe you, then you have a psychological
You seem
problem.
skeptical, and I wasn't the only one. Everybody walked there.
I'm
All
not
of us
skeptical.
But
I
just-
asked you,
Howard. Hold on.
Gary,
Maybe you have to take a look. If 4 people walk out of here
Right.
with the same feeling,
Right.
Maybe, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, but maybe how do we all get the same thought?
I asked
without
you,
talking to each other.
I asked you to look at yourself.
No, I got that, but how do we all walk
I'll
out
tell
with
you
the
how
same
you all
feeling?
got the same thought. Some of you feel guilty. That's how you got the thought. I just put it out there. I said, is there something going on that you could make better?
So all 4 of us felt guilty.
Yep, absolutely. Why else? If my words were, is there something you can do to do, and you said no, and you walked out of here feeling a guilt, I didn't put it on you. You put it on yourself.
But we said we had it under control, and you questioned it again. Then we said we had it under control, and you questioned it again.
No, you told me you had it under control. I asked for a further explanation. I heard it, and I said, okay. How should I have handled it, Gary? Ignore it?
No. But
Right.
after we brought it up the first time, and I said, Howard, I promise you that we've got it under control, and you said, I'm just saying, take a look at yourselves, and that's almost like
I
saying,
said, take a look at the situation and make sure everyone feels comfortable enough to contribute.
and I said to you that this office has been running
Right, and I
really
accepted
well
it.
for a
What
long
did I
time,
not accept?
Except for one guy.
Okay, so I said, all right, that sounds reasonable to me. Go back and continue to operate. What did I tell you to do? Nothing. You guys don't like to hear the voice of reason. It's Lord of the Flies out there.
Well, that's what I was saying about Richard.
Well, guess what? That's why I put it out there.
And Richard's piggy.
Well, is Richard feeling more comfortable now? That's the bottom line.
Well, he is, because he came and spoke to me this morning about his weekend
Well,
and
there you
stuff like
go.
that.
All right.
All right, so there we go. We're on track. So maybe something I said resonated because people are feeling more comfortable.
No. No, that's not. That's
couldn't
not
be
what
me.
happened.
It couldn't be that.
But
All of a sudden, you tell me Richard
you don't
feels more
even know
comfortable.
what's going. No, Richard feels more comfortable because we spoke to him on Friday. And
Good.
I actually went in there before our
So you
conversation.
took care of it. So something
Yes.
changed.
Well, nothing-
Something that you were doing before changed. You talked. You had a conversation with him.
Right.
Aha.
I didn't listen.
Aha. That's all I asked. That's all I asked of you, 𝗦𝗫𝗄𝗏.
You know,
Yes.
can I just tell you one other thing, because I got to get this off
Sure.
my chest.
I love hearing from you.
I said to Howard, like, this was a
Why
rhetorical.
didn't you send me a Father's Day card?
This was a rhetorical question, Robin. Because I was trying to explain how Richard got so upset. I said, Howard, in the history of the show, during a commercial break, have you ever snapped at me?
No.
And he's supposed to go, yes. And he goes, not that I can think of. And my point was going to be, you snapped at me and I got over it and we moved on, because that's how the show has to operate. But when you said you couldn't remember one time, that bowled me over.
I can name one time I snapped at you.
Oh, God. I mean,
You can't remember one either because I don't. I'm reasonable with you.
Listen, it happens. We're working together. This whole show is a deadline because it's live. So I don't
Listen.
take it personally.
Things got so ugly that Jason's mom emailed Sal.
Really?
Yes.
When?
I know about things that you don't even know about.
Emailed about what?
That's right. Because things, listen, am I right or wrong?
Jason's mom is very sensitive.
What is it, Sal?
And she said, leave my son alone.
Really?
From the wrap-up show. And, you know, she gets mad when I say your mother hates you. And that was mean-spirited. I said it at the moment, defending
So what
Richard.
I said was this, and this is what I said to 𝗦𝗫𝗄𝗏. I said, gee, it sounds like things are pretty wild out there. I'm not out there to see it. It doesn't sound like a fun environment to contribute in. Why don't you take a look at it?
But it's
you
not
got
fun.
so
But
defensive.
say what, you heard one person's opinion of the environment.
Gary,
but there's 10 people.
Gary, you're not hearing again.
But there's 10 people who are having fun in that
But
environment.
Gary, I needed to ask about
But you said it doesn't sound fun.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound fun to me.
It's not funny.
And
It's
you
not
explained
fun.
to me that it is fun and that you had things under control, and then you walked out of here feeling guilty. I don't know why. If
All
you
of
feel
it.
guilty,
4 guys walked out of here feeling guilty.
well, okay, so then there's something to that. Why would you feel guilty?
I didn't. You said I did.
I didn't.
I didn't feel
you
guilty.
You said in here, you guys
No.
all walked out with the same feeling.
We felt that you didn't trust us. We didn't say we felt
What
guilty.
did I- what-
you
what
said,
did I
hold
say
on a
to you
second.
that didn't
I
make you
never
feel that
said
way?
I felt guilty. You said I felt guilty, and I have not agreed to it.
You do, because the
I
4 of
don't.
you walked out of here
I do not feel
feeling like
guilty.
I don't trust you. I trust you. I said go.
Oh, I shouldn't say trust isn't the word. Feeling like you didn't believe we're running the office the way we felt we should be.
I would have no idea how you run the office. I don't have any clue what you do out there. For all I know, you could be like Reverend 𝗛𝗄𝗏𝗍, and
Everyone's tithing to me.
who knows? I don't know what you do out there.
Howard, in my opinion, it shouldn't even have gotten to you. Gary should have squashed it immediately.
Of course.
He should have
Now,
taken
hold on
Richard
a second,
aside,
douchebag.
spoke to him, and cleaned it up without bothering you. You got other things on your mind.
Sal, all I said to Gary was, can things be...
Right? As a producer, sure.
All I said was, can things be improved?
How was your Father's Day, douchebag?
Hey, by the way, speaking of Father's Day, I heard Sal on the wrap-up show say something. I mean, you talk about your dad and everything. I didn't know your dad was illiterate.
What?
Yeah, he's illiterate.
Yeah.
He doesn't read or write?
No, but he knows
And then
everything.
his dad...
Yeah.
Made them. His dad would spend $200 or $300 a week on lotto tickets.
A day.
Well,
a day.
At the time, it was only on Saturdays, so every Saturday it was about $300 every Saturday. Now it's when it became twice a week, it was $500 a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in other words, he's Italian.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just remember, like I said, we hardly had, at times we had nothing to eat. You know, we were eating like Wonder Bread with little marinara sauce on top of it. And my father would whip out a stack of tickets, like it was like as thick as 2 decks of cards. He goes, not after tonight. We're all going to the card dealer tomorrow.
And every week he thought he was going to win.
Oh,
So
every yeah.
That's the biggest sucker play on the planet.
And you know what story
Well, that's my
ruins
dad.
it?
I mean, you cannot win that lottery.
We have shoe boxes and shoe boxes loaded with old lotto tickets
Why do
all
you
over the
keep
house.
the old lotto tickets?
I don't know. My
You never
father,
know.
He doesn't want to let go of them. We had to keep them. My mom had to put them in a shoebox and put them on top of the china closet.
His father will change his name for 3 weeks, but not get rid of lotto tickets. You know what story feeds the monster too is Double A.
Right.
You know, you hear about the one guy
Who won the lottery.
Yeah, and that's it. That feeds the monster.
That's the best advertising.
Double A don't work.
Sal, after 5 years of not going to the car dealership, did anyone ever say anything to your dad?
No.
Like, we're going, but you never won.
Never. We never won.
You don't talk to his dad. Are you kidding me?
He never won like even...
30 grand one time.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, he took us out for dinner to some buffet, some shitty buffet. He gave us $100 each, and everything went back into the lottery.
Right.
Wow.
It's not like the money was saved.
Yeah.
They love when you win 30 grand because that's going right back in.
That means 100 grand's coming back in lottery.
Every time my friends would come over after school, he would sit them down at the kitchen table. He'd say, write your name on the back of the card and fill it out, and I'll split it with you. So all my friends would spend half of their day filling out lotto tickets for my father.
I mean, he had so many lotto tickets that he
So
couldn't even
many.
think up numbers in order to...
Yeah, he had everybody play. Every single person that came by, he played.
Howard, he said that his father believes in people who are almost could see the future. So Sal said at the pizzeria, this homeless black guy wandered in one day and started telling Sal's father, something bad's going to happen to you. And Sal's father was about to throw him out of the pizzeria when he realized this guy might know stuff. So he sat him down and made him fill out lottery tickets.
Yeah. So with this homeless guy in a pizzeria filling out lottery tickets.
Didn't that guy see the no Moulignon sign on the fucking door? Hey, first of all,
when my grandmother died, Howard, the day we left the wake, and my father goes, everybody tonight, go to bed with a pen and a pad. And we're like, why? He goes, because Grandma's going to come to us with those numbers. She's going to bail us out.
Wow.
He goes, and if you don't write them down, as soon as you wake up, you're going to forget, and we're going to blow this thing. So everybody had to go to sleep with a pen and a pad on their nightstand, waiting for our dead grandmother to come to us with numbers.
Unbelievable. Now, that's wacky.
He's just out of his mind. I mean... I bought Mexican jumping beans as a kid. Remember those things they would hop?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the pizzeria in Hop Hog, and the Mexican jumping beans are jumping on the table.
Right.
And my dad goes, what the hell is that? I go, Mexican jumping beans. My dad goes to the stationery store next door, buys a piece of oak tag, and fills it out as a lottery ticket. He makes 54 boxes, throws the Mexican jumping beans on top, and when a Mexican jumping bean jumped on a number, he filled it in on the card.
Wow. I mean, everything was a sign.
Everything.
Amazing.
He played 9/11 because it was on the cover of the... Never mind that the towers went down because it said 9/11. That was a sign to play the pick 3 for 2 weeks straight. He would put $100 on one number. Like, not the pick 3, you put $1, a 50-cent box, 50-cent street. $100 on 9/11. No problem at all.
Did your grandma's numbers work? Did anybody ever get the numbers from grandma?
My grandmother never came to me.
Never came.
No,
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she did, she probably said, your dad's out of his mind.
She hightailed it out of town. She never looked back.
It's funny that your grandmother was going to reach over from beyond to give you the numbers.
Right.
Why would she know him after she died?
Yeah,
she didn't know him when she was alive.
well, she knows God now.
Why does grandma know numbers?
I don't know. That was Grandma Nina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sal.
Well,
Wow.
I feel your pain.
Thanks.
So Gary, Howard seems to think that this whole office feud is a lot worse than it is, right? Is that the whole thing?
Well, I think it makes it sound like the office isn't being run correctly, and that there's this environment here where people are afraid to create because they're afraid of getting shot down in a way that makes them feel bad about themselves.
And then Howard the other day was talking about like the office and how everything's handled back here, and you said that brought morale down.
Well, I think that everybody here felt when he was talking to us in the morning, like, hey, maybe it's a bad place, the way it's being run, you got to take a look at it. And we were sort of like, I don't know. We think it runs pretty well. We just think Richard, is just being a little sensitive.
So it's really just this one isolated incident?
Yeah, I mean, nobody else here has ever complained about anything like this before. JD's never come to me, or Jason, or John Hein, or Sal, for that matter, have never come to me and said, "Oh my God, the way you guys handle the office, it hurts my feelings." So Richard got his feelings hurt, which is understandable. But I mean, like I said, we're on a deadline every minute. We're doing a live show. So you can't always be nice to everybody every minute. And I've had times where I wasn't as nice to people as I would have liked to have been. You go back and you apologize, and everybody sort of understands you're in the emotions of the moment. And Richard, for whatever reason, didn't understand at that particular time, even though Will did apologize.
So nothing really has to change then, right? It's just Richard, he's a little too sensitive, would you say?
Well, I guess we have to be more sensitive to Richard now is what has to change.
So, Will, how's everything going in the office now? Howard was talking about how everything's being run in the office. And kind of feel like morale's down around here ever since that.
It's an awful experience working here at the Howard Stern Show. Because
So
you have to
bad.
deal with people like me that kill creativity. Whenever I hear a good idea, I like to squash it because I'm an asshole.
Is it you're too mean to them?
Too mean to everybody. He's a big crybaby. That's the bottom line.
Who, Richard?
Richard is a little bit of a crybaby. I mean, we made up. I apologized after I yelled at him once. I mean, you work here, everybody gets a little, nutty at times. But I apologized, and I thought that was the end of it. But, these guys like to start a war, so...
So nothing really has to change, right? It was just
No, nothing needs to change.
maybe Richard has to toughen up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Grow a set of nuts, you faggot.
How's everything around the office now?
It's good. Everything's cool. I mean, me and Sal are in here having a blast. I talked to Gary this morning, talked to Will. Everything's cool. Apparently Jason has a problem with me and Sal, but that's fine. I don't really deal with Jason much anyway, so... everything's good.
Did anything change to make it better, or just time?
No, it just
time
takes
helps?
time heals all wounds, that kind of thing. Just takes time sometimes.
And now, how can you avoid something like this in the future?
How can I avoid? Yeah, I don't know.
Was it you think you were being too sensitive, or do you think Will was being too mean about it?
Yeah, I just think, things get heated sometimes, the show is very fast-paced, and I think, around here everybody kind of knows, on the air it's one thing to talk down to somebody, that's fine, that all happens, but when you're off the air, everybody wants to be treated with respect, so I think everybody knows that, and everything's cool now.
So there's just this one little incident?
Yeah, just one thing. I mean, out of I've been here 5 years now, one little thing, it's no big deal. So, I think everything's cool. Me and you are cool, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'd never get mad at you.
I know. Thanks, Chris.
Come on, George, you knew that.
I knew that. This is a legend. A real legend. Greg Allman. We're going to bring him in.
I think he's always going to talk about you. I think he understands.
Mr. Greg Allman, how are you, sir?
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Right this way. So this is your first appearance on the show.
Yes.
You looking forward to it? Are you a fan of Howard's?
Got me on the spot.
He was just mentioning what a fan he is of yours, how he used to listen to 𝗦𝗵cie in his room in high school while he was all alone.
Oh, really?
You guys were friends of his in a way.
I don't know of Howard that much.
Gary, can I talk to you for a second?
Sure.
It's fine. You know what?
Gary, this is a sort of an odd dynamic on today's show. I mean, he's obviously a very quiet guest, but Howard really respects him, as a musician, and he just mentioned how he used to listen to 𝗦𝗵cie all the time. How do you anticipate Howard handling this interview, because he seems very fragile?
I think he'll handle it like he handles anything. He'll sort of read what's going on and try to draw him out, and that'll take a little bit of time. But I think Howard knows he's dealing with a quieter person, and he knows how to handle interviews like that. And I think it'll be. I told Greg's people, because they were a little reluctant to come in live, that this is going to be one of those interviews that everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, your Howard interview was amazing."
And he's not. You don't anticipate Howard going to jump right in with tough questions. It's going to be a very slow. He's going to cater to the guest.
I think so. Yeah, I do. Could be wrong, but I don't think so.
All right, you're about to meet a legend, George. Not William Shatner. It's Greg Allman, who put out a book, which shocked me, actually, that Greg even cared to put out a book.
I can't understand how he had something to write. I don't think he remembers his life.
No, Greg knows. There he is. There's the man. There's the man. There's the legend. Look at you. I knew I'd meet you one day.
Hey there.
What's happening? Look at you. Let me take you in. Let me stare at you a little bit. Never been this close to a legend. Take a seat.
How do you do?
Good seeing you.
Nice to meet
Look at you, man. What a life you've had. Why'd you write a book anyway? You know, I think the title of the book is a good name. My Cross to Bear. I feel like you really have like one of the most difficult lives and been surrounded by a lot of death. And that's got to screw a man's head up. I don't care what anyone says. You can only be so strong. Am I right?
That's a fact.
Yeah. You know, like a lot of people...
I don't know much about his early life.
Oh, I'll tell you everything.
Okay.
I know all about this guy. I've been watching him. No, I mean, you know, you think about it. First of all, your dad died as a young man, right?
Yeah, I was 2 years old.
Oh.
So I never knew him.
Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and I lived there until I was 9 years old. At which time the family moved to Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah, you don't.
That's when I started playing.
Oh.
Yeah, well, but you play mostly keyboards, right? Did you play guitar at first a lot? What was your instrument of choice when you were learning?
It was a guitar.
Guitar.
And I taught my brother, the basic map.
Did you?
He then quit school and just passed me like I was standing still.
How did your father die when you were 2 years old?
He had just come back from fighting in the Korean War.
Right.
And he'd been promoted to captain. And and he got the first 1949 Ford off the line, right?
Right.
And, well, I mean, after the family got theirs.
Yeah, the Ford family got their car, and then your dad got his. Yeah. How do you do that? But, all right, yeah, so he gets a car.
And so they're out celebrating him and this sergeant friend of his.
Right.
And this, of course, was a long time ago, and everything was dirt roads and cornfields. And anyway, they were shooting pool in this little beer joint. And this guy kind of sided up next to him and mind if I shoot some pool? And the night went on and everything. Towards the end of the night, the guy asked my father, he said, man, could you give me a ride to my house? It's just right past the second cornfield.
Yeah.
And he said, sure, after you've had a few beers. Hell, I'll take, you got an elephant with you? Sure, I'll take him. And so he says, okay, turn right up here at this dirt road going down. I would have stopped right there and said, this is my new car. I ain't going down the dirt road.
I mean, yeah, and they go down the dirt road.
They get about half a mile down there, and he pulls a 45 to my dad's neck. And he said, all right, y'all get out. And
oh, my God.
So he thought they'd just come back from the Orient, that maybe they had some,
Yeah.
I mean, because there was an officer and a master sergeant. And so anyway, the conversation went on, and he finally said, listen, buddy, we don't have nothing to give you. Take the car, take anything you want.
Right.
He said, well, buddy, he said, now that you know my name, I got to kill you. His name was Buddy Green.
Gee whiz.
So my father took off running, and he got him 4 times in the back.
Oh.
Wowee.
And so then...
Holy mackerel.
That's hard.
How do you know all this? Did your mother sit you down at some point?
Oh, it's not the end of it yet. I started getting letters from the prison.
Oh, they locked this guy up.
Yeah, they gave him 99 plus 1. You can't serve the 1 until you've served it.
Right.
Yeah, they don't have that anymore, but state of Tennessee, they got...
He didn't get the death penalty, this guy, for shooting your father in the back?
I think they wanted him to just rot. He's
you think
dead.
that's better? Are you a death penalty guy? Do you believe an eye for an eye?
I don't know. I guess until it happens to you...
Yeah.
You don't really realize what your answer would be to that question.
Have you ever met the guy that killed your father?
No.
But you say he wrote to you?
But yes, he wrote me a lot of letters and told me the whole story, start to finish.
Why did he write you a lot of letters, do you think? Do you think he wrote you to absolve himself of guilt?
I'm thinking somebody came up to him at lunch one day, opens the thing, the Allman Brothers at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium.
Right.
Back for the 9th time, and look who you killed.
Wow. It was almost like he became a celebrity because he killed this famous celebrity's father. Like, it almost turned him on, maybe. Like, wow, hey, I'll write this guy a letter. Now we're connected in some way. Don't you think?
I would think that if there was other fans in the prison, he'd have a rough way to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you ever
true.
answer him back?
No.
Okay.
How many letters did you get from him over the years?
About 6.
Do you think he felt he created you in a way? Like he somehow had something to do with you? You know, it's weird, like he'd write you all of a sudden to tell you what? Did he say he was sorry?
Oh, tearful.
Yeah.
Just begging forgiveness and all.
Wow. Right, and you wouldn't. Yeah.
I'm not the one you need to be asking forgiveness.
Are you a religious guy?
Somewhat. I'm very spiritual.
Yeah. I just, and your mother, did she carry around that bitterness about her husband being shot in the back? Like, did she sit and talk to you every day about it? Was she a depressed and sad woman?
No.
I mean, when you lose your husband, I mean, here the guy went through the Korean War. Here's the irony. He goes through the Korean War, survives, comes home, and some asshole shoots him in the back for no reason.
Just for having been there.
Don't you think, in a way, with all the, with your drinking and the drugging and all that stuff, I mean, some of that's some rock star stuff, but at the same point, don't you think it was to drown out the pain of never knowing the father that you got gypped out of knowing your father?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just, did you go into therapy about all that stuff?
I did.
Did it help?
It did.
I mean, I'd imagine a guy like you have to go into therapy for a long time after having a childhood like that. And your brother raised you, right? I mean,
yeah.
Dwayne raised you, and then Dwayne is the guy who says, hey, come on, man, let's make a band. You were afraid at first to even join a band.
The Beatles had just come out, man. Everybody, no pun, but everybody and their brother had a damn band.
Right.
And there was some competition, serious competition out there.
And you were thinking sensibly. You were saying to yourself, hey, look, man, maybe I'll join this dopey band, but I got to go get a real career. And you wanted to be a dentist or some sort of doctor, didn't you?
Dental surgeon.
A dental surgeon. Where the hell did you come up with that? Imagine Greg Allman's your
Allman working
dental
on
surgeon?
your teeth, yeah.
Hey, sing me a song, Doc. What? Seriously, I mean, where did you come up with dental surgery, boy from the South?
Well,
were you a good student?
No. I was a very good student.
Oh, were you?
Valedictorian 2 years.
Get the hell out. You were the valedictorian of your high school.
Twice.
Were you? And so you said, I'm going to take my brains and use them toward a stable career. You were thinking.
I went to military school in the 3rd grade, 4th grade, 10th grade, and 11th.
Your mother sent you away?
My grades were going.
Why? Because your brother was a bad influence?
No, because
of the guitar.
Music, huh?
You found the guitar, and the guitar distracted you so much you couldn't study anymore.
Oh, man, I rarely ate.
But the guitar was an obsession with you.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it weird, though, you never became like a lead guitarist? You were.
I was at first, and my brother sang. My brother could not sing.
You guys got mixed up.
And I could not play.
You know, it's a funny thing. I think you dispel this in the book. You know, when I think of you and your brother, I get this romantic notion of the two brothers against the world, playing in a band. But there was a lot of shitty times between you and your brother, right? I mean, you had a lot of resentment toward your brother. It wasn't all, like, super wonderful.
It always seemed to me that Greg was trying to bolt the band.
Yeah. Was your brother a prick to you at times? Was he just really mean to you? Is that because older brothers can be that way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would he beat you up physically? And because he felt he had to be the man in the family and teach you a lesson, right?
And so he was going to be the leader of the band, too.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of a happy, sad type thing. He could, and did usually, see to it that I got an ass whipping at least 3-4 times a week.
Wow.
When you say an ass whipping, how severe was it?
Oh, well, no, I mean, it's not breaking any bones or anything.
But he punched you in the face, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty fucked up.
I've seen brothers fight, and it can be vicious.
So, do you ever say to yourself, well, why wasn't my brother more loving to me? You know, why? Do you think he was taking out? Do you think he was angry with you because he had to be a father to you? Like you gave him all this responsibility?
Well, at the same time, I know this might sound strange, but at the same time, he, I mean, if anybody else tried to mess with me, oh, look out.
Yeah, but that's trying to make something good. I mean, he had no right to sit there and beat the shit out of you, and your mother was probably...
Right, you were his punching bag. Nobody else could punch you.
You see, what was you? And your mother didn't protect you through all that, did she?
Nope.
No. So that's what you're really angry about. I mean, that's what the drinking and all that shit leads to, right? That comes from all that anger, right?
Could be.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd be pissed.
But then you wind up losing your brother.
Well, before we get to that, so when your brother says to you, hey, let's start a band called the Allman Brothers Band, you probably said to yourself, I don't want to throw in this maniac. I finally got rid of him. I finally don't have him punching me in the face every day. Right? I mean, why in your right mind would you join the Allman Brothers Band with the brother who was so brutal to you? Did you ever think about that?
Yeah.
Well, he had a smart technique with you. He'd challenge you, wouldn't he? He'd say to you, you're a pussy. Why don't you join this band? What, are you afraid to write a song? Like he would like almost attack you for being a pussy for not joining the band, right?
Everything was a competition.
Yeah. Is that true?
Not on this particular case, but in other things in life, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird thing. And for you, had you ever written? Did you used to write songs with him? Is that how it started? Because I mean, you were the songwriter in the family. He needed you more than you needed him. The songwriter's the backbone, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Got to have something to play.
So he gets you in the band, and turns out you wrote some pretty damn good songs, but you were afraid to write, right?
Afraid to write?
Yeah. Like, I mean, where do you get the balls to come up with a song and think it's any good? You know what I mean? When you're writing a song like, you know, I don't know.
Who has the nerve to write a song?
Yeah, I mean, did you ever say to yourself, shit, I'm supposed to be a dentist. What the hell am I doing writing a song? Don't you think that the Allman Brothers Band created a genre of music? I was thinking about this yesterday when I knew you were coming in. I said to myself, like, Lynyrd Skynyrd, The Outlaws, Marshall Tucker Band, all these Southern rock bands. Before you guys, I don't think there was even a genre of music like this. Can you think of anyone who was doing anything like this?
No.
So, I mean, you're as innovative as any band out there. Do you think you get your credit? Do you think you get due credit?
No.
Why do you get not enough credit? Why do you think you're, I'm not going to say disrespected, but why do you think you're not more respected?
Well, I don't know. We just, you know, we're one of those show me bands, you know.
In other words,
I mean, the way we made it, you know, you're always getting that question.
Yeah.
How'd you know when you made it? You know?
Do you think you made it yet? You ready to say you made it? When your brother, who I think was brilliant, whose idea was it to have two lead guitar players playing off each other? Was that your brother?
He formed the whole band.
Right.
Then he called me.
So everything was in place.
And he said, I need you to come round this whole thing up and send it somewhere. Meaning writing.
Right.
And singing. And, you know, I later found out from some of the other guys that he'd said, like, you know, wait till my baby brother gets here.
Right. In other words,
so he had a grudging respect for you.
Yeah, he did. He needed you. There's no question about it. And do you hate, like, you don't ride did you ever ride a motorcycle in your life?
I have 3 of them.
You still do?
Mm.
When your brother dies of a motorcycle accident, and then a couple of years later another band member dies in a motorcycle accident, don't you just say to yourself, I hate motorcycles. They took my brother. They took my bass player. I hate motorcycles.
I love them.
You love them. Was your brother riding with a helmet? No helmet, right?
Yeah.
He had a helmet.
He was just doing, he had 2 speeds parked in 100.
Was he, like, I never get that. When you have such a great life and your band is taking off and you're on top of the world, there's no mechanism that says, you know what, man, I'm not driving a motorcycle. Yeah, maybe it's fun, but fuck it.
But I'll drive it 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's like, do you think it's a death wish in your family?
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's wild.
But everything to extreme.
Yeah. Extreme, and you're an extreme guy. I mean, like you wouldn't have 10 drinks. You'd have a whole bottle of whiskey in the morning. Whatever you did, you consumed. I mean, you are fierce in the fact that you're not afraid to even destroy yourself, right? I mean, there's no fear on your part.
Well, I'm working on it.
That's your point. And so you will go out to this day and ride a motorcycle.
Well, I just had a hernia operation. I'm not quite strong enough.
And you had a liver transplant 2 years ago. Is that the worst? Is that a very painful operation?
Oh, God.
Awful.
Man, let me tell you, they had to put this thing up between your organs and the bone. That spread your rib cage.
Oh, that sounds painful.
And that pulls all the bones, not out of the cartilage, but it just
stretches it.
Then they got to seed back in. That takes forever, and that is painful.
Well, whose liver is it? Do we know whose liver is living inside of you?
It's a 29-year-old liver.
A 29-year-old liver. They don't tell you who the person was. They don't tell you the family.
They after a year has passed, they give you the little. It's all marked and everything, you know.
It gives you the information.
And you can write your first name only, and write a short letter to the family. If they respond, then hey, y'all can go ahead and have a relationship.
Did you write the letter?
I did.
Did you get a response?
No.
You did not?
Did not.
Does that drive you crazy? It's kind of like, aren't you curious?
Yeah,
like,
because
why
they gave
didn't
you
write
the
back?
gift of life.
Yeah.
Well, I've tried. I guess I've done my part.
Did you tell them who you were?
Only first name?
I'd be
That's
like,
all
hey,
you could use?
look how cool. Oh, you can only use your first name. That's right. Oh, shit. You should use your last name.
I put Allman,
Do you think, this is the sick part of celebrity, do you think if you were able to write your full name, you would have gotten a letter back? I think so. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Being famous is crazy, isn't it? It really is. But your liver has taken. I mean, you are in good health, yes?
Yeah. Liver's doing wonderful.
And what is the difference between having had, you were really sick, and then you get the liver transplant? I mean, it just, like, you wake up and you're cured, right?
That's about it.
Yeah.
How are you still in pain from the operation?
A little bit.
Yeah, wow.
Well, you just had another operation. You don't know what you're in pain from.
Listen, with your background, it's a miracle you're still alive, right? That's the way you got to look at it. If you knew now what it's like to be older and be going through liver transplants and all this other stuff, do you think you would have lived a whole different life? Do you think you never would have taken a drink? Do you think you never would have used drugs? Do you think you would have just behaved a whole different way toward your body?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You could tell kids all day that story, but they don't listen,
Then
right?
nobody listens.
Yeah, but you might save one of them. All it takes is a blood test. Or you can go to tune in to 𝗦𝗵cie.com.
They say a lot of people, particularly in my generation, should be tested because they don't know they have Hep C. That there's a lot of people have it. And you believe you got it from a bad tattoo needle.
Right, that's what the doctors think.
I mean,
I'm looking at all your tattoos. You got a lot of them.
Yeah. And so back then, when you got your tattoos, it's not as prevalent getting tattoos. When you got tattoos, it was a little more edgy, right? Now everybody's got a tattoo.
Right.
But the conditions, I guess, weren't so clean. Like, where did you go to get these tattoos? Were they like really seedy places?
Well, I could tell you exactly the place. No, this guy was very, very...
clean?
No, he was very well known.
Right.
And you use the same person all the time?
Well, at first,
So how do you think he got Hep C? Do you think he just wasn't careful with his needles?
Well, I remember this. I walked in there, it was in San Francisco, and I walked up the big, long steps, and it said, "Welcome, art lovers," all that stuff.
That's me.
I'm an art lover.
So I go in there, and the brothers all had a mushroom tattooed right here on their leg.
Yeah.
And
what the hell was that about?
My brother's idea. Well, that's our logo.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, why was the mushroom the logo, do you think? Because of magic mushrooms and stuff?
These people came up from Gainesville, Florida, where they were studying some kind of medicine, and they got a hold of a tabbing machine. And so they trounced out through the out through the 𝗏𝗏𝗿𝗍 and picked just
mushrooms,
big bags of mushrooms. Right. Then they were able to get the essence out.
Yeah.
Mix them with a little just nothing.
Yeah.
To form the tab.
Wow.
I mean, it's one thing to get caught with drugs, but you get caught with a tabbing machine. Oh.
Yeah, that's a different story. That's like a manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go into the tattoo place to get the mushrooms on your legs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got another one up here of a centaur.
Right.
Anyway, I walked up and he had a desk. It was turned sideways. And there were 2 galvanized buckets. One of them was just clear. Could have been water, could have been gasoline, could have been vodka, I don't know.
Right.
And the other one, it looked like real dark red wine. Anyway, there were these things, long things, sticking out of them.
Out of the buckets. Yeah.
Those are needles that had already been used.
Right.
Oh.
So he took 2 of them out of the red bucket, and he slung it up on he slung it up on the wall, and then he put it in the clear bucket.
Cleaned it off.
Slung that off on the wall, and then he had a pretty tight place except for that wall.
Yeah.
But you can tell. I mean, it was blood.
Right.
I'd never been there before. I didn't know what the whole protocol was.
Right.
So, what you want and what color.
Can you imagine?
I could have gotten AIDS, man. I got off easy.
Yeah, you actually did. I mean, not that, listen, Hep C.
Nothing's easy. I mean, losing your liver.
Right.
Then long about...
Do you hate your tattoos because they gave you Hep C? Do you hate them?
No.
No. You don't have that feeling about it.
No.
Do you ever say to yourself, shit, I never should have gotten tattooed. What the hell was I thinking? You see, I would just beat myself up.
If you walked into a room with a guy with a bucket that was red and a bucket that was clear, you'd be on your way out
Well, that's
the door.
true.
But this is long before
ago,
any AIDS.
Yeah,
right. You didn't think about it.
Oh, I forget that you came up in the era before AIDS, so you must have had tons of sex.
Well, you kidding? Well, of course he did. He was a rock star. But you want to know something that's weird? You know what? I remember being in college, and I remember listening to Eat a Peach and stuff.
Yeah.
And I never used, I think sometimes I used the rubber with a chick, but sometimes I didn't.
Right.
Like the chick would be on a pill because you didn't know about AIDS or anything else.
None of that stuff.
I don't ever remember. You know, there was a period of time you didn't think about it.
That was just all you thought about was you could possibly get somebody pregnant.
Right.
Or, some other sexual disease, but you could take get a shot for it.
And nobody wanted my baby, so I didn't worry about getting anybody pregnant. Nobody was looking for me to be the father of their kid. Not with this face and my income.
Yeah, it was free love.
Yeah, free love. Yeah, well, everything has a price.
We didn't know that then.
Hey, did you once see Jimi Hendrix play live and you were not impressed? Is that true? Like, you didn't think he was that great?
You got the wrong guy here.
Do I?
I believe so.
You loved Hendrix, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you saw him play?
Briefly, hanging over this wall.
What was he doing? He was high as a kite, I guess, huh?
Well, no, he... was he high as a kite?
Yeah, why was he hanging off a wall?
No, I was hanging off.
Oh, you were hanging off the wall.
Yeah, that's how you saw him.
I was backstage at the Atlanta Pop Festival. And he came on real late, man.
Yeah.
And but I'd heard all his records. And I wanted to see. Here's what I wanted to see, because he used a lot of echo and a lot of tricks and everything on that. Well, this tricks. Pardon me. Scratch that. He used a lot of studio.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I wanted to see what he had cooked up for live.
Right. It's a different story live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And did he disappoint?
Not at all.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard stories that Clapton was so blown out when he saw Hendrix, he almost thought about giving up the guitar. That's how good he thought Hendrix was. Like, it was just like they all had to go back and rethink their whole attitude toward playing and writing songs. Yeah. He didn't affect you that much, huh?
And British blues.
Yeah. So, it's a funny thing. I'm thinking about the Allman Brothers Band, and I'm thinking about that the Allman Brothers Band never got the amount of respect like a Hendrix, or even like Cream, or a lot of these bands. And I can't quite put my finger on why, because certainly in terms of hit songs, you could name 100 Allman Brothers songs that are absolutely some of the greatest songs ever written. And I still can't get back to that point, you know? And I bet you that's frustrating to you. Maybe that's why you even wrote the book, just to set the record straight and say, you know, hey, man, look at what we did. Look at the accomplishments. Don't forget who we are, right?
Might have been, yeah. I might have thought about that.
Yeah. It wasn't for the money. You got enough money, right?
Right.
You know, you had years where I read a story, and I think you get in this in the book, that the song "Sweet Melissa," which you wrote, you needed money at the time, and some manager came up to you and said, "Hey, I'll give you $250 if you put
Steve Alamo."
Yeah, if you put my name as a co-writer on that song, I'll give you $250. And you took the deal.
No.
You set that record straight.
That's not the, yeah.
We
were hungry. The whole band was hungry.
Well, you're starving.
I said, man, you just hold this song.
Right.
If you can give me $250 on it, I'll greatly appreciate it because my band is starving.
Right.
And, you know, anybody made of anything would have said, come on, man, I'll feed the band.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
And so I came back and I said, I need my tune back, you know.
Give me my song.
Here's your $250, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm sorry, I don't think that's the number we're talking about.
Yeah.
I said, we weren't talking about any number. I said, all right. And I see what he was playing, and I said, well, how about 10,000? And
yeah.
So I just said something really foul to him.
Yeah.
He's a real parasite.
And he put his name on the song.
I know.
And he still gets money?
No.
How'd you get the song back?
Well, I have a good attorney.
Yeah. But musicians really do get fucked over, right? Because you're so busy being a musician, you're not sitting there worrying about the laws.
And it's almost like mobsters, some of these guys you run into.
Yeah.
Huh?
Are you bitter about the music industry? Because, you know, even by the time you wrote Sweet Melissa, I mean, the band was doing okay, right? I mean, you guys were starting to happen.
No, that's the first song I ever wrote.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
that when I was 17.
No kidding. Was it about an actual girl named Melissa?
It was I was out on the road for the first time.
Yeah.
And I guess I was a little homesick. So I just invented this girl, and I wrote the whole damn song, except for the title. But back home, he'll always run to sweet Barbara.
Don't work.
To sweet, you know, we need 3-syllable now.
Yeah.
So I finally just, anytime you get hung up on something, it's best just put it down.
Yeah.
And when you pick it up again later, who knows? Maybe you'll have different thoughts.
I saw you guys play at the Fillmore. You opened for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You opened for Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Let me finish this story.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, Sweet Melissa. Sorry, I thought you were done.
So it was my turn to go to the grocery.
Right.
And get coffee and sugar and all that stuff. Beans and bacon, you know.
All the good stuff.
Out on the range.
Right.
Anyway, me and another person were the only ones, because it was like 4 in the morning. And so this was an old Spanish lady, I guess her granddaughter. And, you know, she was a real big lady. And she had... she just, you could tell that she was just she couldn't speak much English at all.
Right.
Anyway, the little toddler had just learned that she had legs that worked. Boy, she was
running around.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And she took off one time, way out of earshot, and the lady yells, "Melissa, come back, Melissa!" I went, oh.
There it is.
Melissa.
Sweet Melissa.
I started to go up and kiss her on the cheek, but she'd probably call the law. You know?
That was it. The 3-syllable name you needed. That is crazy how that works.
If you hadn't gone to the store, you would have missed it.
I thought it was for sure was some broad you were trying to bang, you know. Who knew? 17 you wrote that. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah.
Most of the songs that come to you quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there and labor over them when they're that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
did you ever say to the other guys, hey, why don't you guys write a few good fucking songs instead of laying it all on me? Do you think you should have been a solo artist? Do you think that, maybe you should have just written all these songs and recorded them yourself and not
You
even
did some solo stuff.
No, but I mean, do you think instead of even ever joining up with your brother in the Allman Brothers band, did you ever get resentful? Like, hey, I'm writing all these songs for these guys. I could have just kept them all for myself, you know? That thought ever occur to you?
Mm-hmm.
It did. Regrets?
Well, you know, I have another band, and it's called Greg Allman and Friends. And Warren Haynes has another band, Government Mule.
Mm-hmm.
Derek has another band. But you know what? It just ain't like playing with the Allman Brothers.
Yeah. It's just, right. It's that thing.
It's that thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to explain this to other people. They don't get it.
You know, a lot of your book, not a lot of your book, but some of your book deals with your marriage to Cher. I remember being all freaked out by that because, I was Allman Brothers fan, and all of a sudden you end up with Cher. And I was so jealous, man, because she was like such a hot chick, you know? I mean, I was like, man, she's got a smoking fucking body. What you must be doing to her, it must be crazy, you know?
How do you hook up with Cher?
Yeah, I mean, you look back on that as something you remember fondly, or are you just disgusted by that whole segment of your life?
No, I look back on it very fondly.
You tell some great stories. I mean, the story.
It would be a wonder, you know, because you just wouldn't imagine Cher and Greg hanging out in the same place.
No, in fact, I remember when All Man and Woman came out. I don't mean to bring up any bad memories, but I remember that album, All Man and Woman, and you describe in your book. I get it. Like, you're married to the woman. She says to you, hey, you're a great songwriter. Let's do an album together. And you're like, hey, she's my wife. I can't say no.
Yeah, she's a singer.
I'm gonna make an album with her, and you did, but you were not fond of the album, right? You just kind of.
Well, it started off. She said, "I want you in there," you know. I mean, she says, you know, I got a producer, but maybe you can go in as co-producer. I forget who. Who was producing it?
Some dude. Oh, wasn't that Perry guy? No, Rick Perry or something. What the hell is that guy's name?
I don't know.
Oh, he was the governor of Texas. Right?
Yeah, really.
I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, so you and Cher go into the studio. She was cutting an album, and then all of a sudden she wanted you in there, and then next thing you know, you're recording with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And did you know it was going wrong while you were doing it?
I'd say that's a yes.
Well,
It was a weird scene, right? Because, like, you guys would go on tour together, you and Cher, and then, as you described, Cher's fans would be fighting with your fans because they were so different. It had to be the weirdest
you'd
vibe.
have the backpackers over here, and you'd have the tuxedos over here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And these guys was... throw the bitch off the stage.
That's your wife, meanwhile. Was that like a crazy decision in your life? Because, like, you knew each other a couple of days and then you got married.
Yeah.
I mean, was that like the craziest thing you've ever done?
That was her idea.
That was her idea. You just went along for the ride, right?
Well, no, I was into it a little deeper than that.
Yeah. How long did that whole thing last? A couple of months, right?
3 hours. 3 years.
3 years it did? I didn't even realize it was that long.
Well, it had to have lasted sometimes because Chastity told us the story, Chaz told us the story of you picking him up from school.
Chaz was on the show about, I don't know, 6 months ago or so. Do you know this story? You have a question mark. Chaz says you were so out of it that day. You picked her up from school, and then, like, you had to pull over the side of the road and go to sleep, and, like, for a while, just Chaz was sitting there with you for a long time and couldn't get home. Do you have any recollection of that?
You picked her up, and you got home at 11 o'clock that night.
Yeah, from school. And Cher was all pissed off. This is what Chastity told me. I don't know.
You have no recollection.
And you know what, Greg? She says that's the day she decided to become a guy. She'd had it. You don't speak to Cher anymore, though, right? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, you do?
Every now and then.
About your son and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You close to him, or was that an impossible situation?
I don't know. He stays abroad quite a bit.
Does he? I had him on the show. He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a nice conversation and stuff.
Greg said that, like, oh, he is?
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes in divorce, that's what happens, right? I mean, it's hard to maintain a relationship with the kids. They usually side with one parent or the other. True?
Exactly.
Yeah. Is that a sadness in your life?
No, because they, well, out of 4, I got 3 musicians.
Right.
And a nurse.
Who you're close with?
Well, I'm close with all of them.
And Elijah, too?
Well, no.
No. That's the only one.
Well, he stays gone all the time.
Yeah.
Did you share custody? Did he come visit when he was growing up?
He can come visit anytime he likes.
Yeah?
He's welcome.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't hold him back.
Uh-huh.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And so he comes from time to time. I have all my kids at Christmas.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole damn clan down there.
I remember, a friend of mine was talking about the Allman Brothers, and you guys are a legendary jam band. You guys, you've done 6-hour shows. I mean, literally played for 6 hours.
Oh yeah.
And that's just from the pure joy of playing, right? I mean, you don't have to stay out there for 6 hours.
No.
Some friend of mine told me a legendary story about you. He said that he was at one of your shows, and it was going on and on. I mean, you guys were really in the mood to play, and there was a hot chick in the audience. And all of a sudden, the hot chick was gone. And then you left the stage, too, for a while. There was some kind of guitar solo going on, or somebody was
playing?
Somebody was doing something. The chick disappeared. You disappeared. And then later on, she showed back up in the audience, and you showed up back on stage. Like, you could have a whole life during a jam, right? I mean, you can actually leave the stage, go off, hook up with a chick, and then
have a whole relationship.
And have a whole relationship in that time that you're off the stage, right? I mean, is that the truth? Someone told me you got your new liver during a jam. Like, you just went out to the hospital, you got a liver, and you came back on stage. I don't know.
It's a quickie, right?
Quickie, man. Well, listen, the legendary Greg Allman. I mean, what am I going to say, man? You're amazing. A legendary band. The new book is called My Cross to Bear. It's a fascinating story. Did you remember a lot of it, or did you have to go back and ask a lot of people to cooperate with you?
I had, it's really amazing how sometimes stuff just falls in line.
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, there happened to be a guy on the Allman Brothers road crew who had this strange knack of, you could ask him, all right, where did the brothers play June 3rd, 1979?
Yeah. I have a guy like that, Gary Baba Booey. He knows everything. I don't remember one thing about my career.
Well, save him, because if you ever do write your memoirs, you need the hardest part of it is the chronological order.
That's right.
And this guy knew it. He said, "Don't you remember that was after?" No, I don't remember.
No, it's unbelievable.
Too much stuff going on in here.
You don't practice anymore, do you? You don't actually physically sit down every day and play music, do you?
No, I sit down and write.
You do?
Do you?
You still write songs?
Oh, yeah.
You can't stop that.
Why would I want to?
And what about your voice? Do you practice singing? Do you vocalize every day? Or
I hit the shower pretty heavy.
Yeah, me too.
But see, I got a studio built onto my house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it just fits me and my band. And we mainly use it for, like, before a big run.
Uh-huh.
We'll all meet at my house. And just play the show down.
Where do you live?
Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And what's the marital status now? Do you have
you got a wife, right?
A wife?
I'm engaged to be married.
Look at you.
Right.
Now, what number wife is this?
Oh, please.
Come on, seriously.
Number 1.
Number 1 wife.
What?
Good answer. Hey, what the hell? You think you got it right this time?
I know I do.
You have love. You finally have love. And also has something to do with your age, too, right? I mean, you're not the crazy young man who had to feel... You felt like you had to grab everything, every woman, every drug, every drink, right?
Yeah.
You don't have that hunger anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's some young broad? How much younger is she than you?
Oh...
I'm guessing 20 years at least.
At least.
Greg Allman's book, My Cross to Bear, is in stores now. It's a fascinating life. You go into everything. I don't think you avoided
He
any
doesn't
subject.
avoid any of it, huh?
No, and I think probably I thought maybe you would avoid the sort of the sense of history of. There was a terrible time in your life when you got busted for drugs or something, and then everyone accused you of selling out this guy who you had to testify against, and he didn't spend that much time in jail anyway, did he? But that was a whole painful period in your life, right?
It really was.
And you had to, because people were turning on you, friends and stuff. They're calling you a narc and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you address it in the book, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And what do you say in the book? Do you explain to them that, hey, that wasn't the case?
Basically just say what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let the record stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think music and drugs just go together? Rock and roll and drugs? You know, it was always sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Because so many musicians, great musicians, wind up with drug problems.
Well,
I think fucked up childhood and drugs go together.
And rock and roll.
Greg Allman had, I'm answering for you, but you had a very difficult childhood.
Yes, I did.
So is it rock and roll and drugs, or is it the childhood and drugs?
I think maybe a collection of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And did you think that, because a lot of times we think you have this incredible gift. You can write music, you can sing, you can work it out with other musicians. That's an incredible thing. Why do you risk losing it with drugs and alcohol and?
Yeah, but then why do you risk even going into that business? You think about it; it's such a risky business anyway.
So you're risk takers right from the very beginning.
Rock and roll guys are risk takers. They don't have shit to fall back on for the most part. You know, you didn't go to dental school and then be in the Allman Brothers.
But you never sit there and think I shouldn't take that drug because I might ruin the brain that writes Sweet Melissa.
Yeah.
Well, now just hold it a minute.
That's a lot on the table.
It seems like if there was a right way to do it, I did it.
You did?
Because I had this pharmacist just right in the pocket, and he would deliver it, and
so you thought your drugs were pure because you were...
Well, no, they were all pharmaceutical.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All your drugs were pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
So you weren't a heroin guy. You were more like barbiturates and all that kind of stuff.
No, I was a heroin guy. Dilaudid.
Oh, Dilaudid.
Yeah.
That shit's addictive. How the hell did you get off that?
Oh, man, it wasn't easy.
Did you go to rehab?
Went to 14 of them.
Wow.
But there was always this little voice back here saying, I do the dance for them.
Right.
When they cooled out, get off my back.
I'll get
further
back.
on down, have me a cold beer or two watching the game. What the hell?
Yeah.
You go from that. By nightfall, you're into the vodka.
You talk about drugs. One of the stories in your book is that the first time you went out with Cher, you nodded out. Like, it's amazing she gave you a second date because you nodded off, right, during the first date.
I was a little tired.
Yeah.
I was going to say, was that drugs or was she boring? Come on.
Yeah, maybe she was boring.
No, she was not boring.
Not boring.
Yeah. No. And you even say in your book that sexually, you guys, when you finally had your night of passion, it was the second date. For some reason, she gave you a second date. She says, I think she even claims it was the most dynamic sex of her life. God knows what you did to her. That's what you ought to tell me.
Right, that should be in the book.
What the hell did you do to that woman?
Did you have other famous women?
No.
Yes. Don't say no. Of course you did. Don't lie about that. That's something to be proud of. All right, anyway, listen, you could go on all day with this. Greg Allman's book, My Cross to Bear, is in stores now. It's a very honest appraisal. You did it. Why'd you do it? You didn't need the money. It's just to set the record straight, right? That's it.
Well, that, and, at first it was just a journal because I thought, one day I'll be on my porch in my rocking chair with a blanket around me, and I might want to flip through these pages and relive it.
So that's how it started. And then someone said, "Hey, this is good enough to be a book."
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you? Do you still tour a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You sick of it? Do you want to sit on the chair and rock away and just kind of have a nice, quiet life?
No, it's not that time yet.
Yeah, and you're not ready for that.
No.
You're not giving it up.
Well, how much money does he have, Howard? He must be.
He's worth $15 million.
Oh, that's ridiculously
No, that's the
low.
truth. Am I right? Or am I wrong? give me a ballpark. Am I in the ballpark? $15 million? Because you've been ripped off a lot. You've gone through a lot of marriages, divorce, that kind of stuff. Tell me if I'm in the ballpark.
You're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Then he spread out a lot of money.
One last question, and this is a tough one. Do you ever consider giving up music and going back to dental school and becoming the dentist you should have been?
Now, that's a good one to leave on.
Greg Allman's book, My Cross to Bear, is in store now. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Glad
for
I got to
coming
meet you. And we'll be back right after these words. You know, the dental business is a good business. Solid work.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Thank you so much for coming in. It was a real
Pleasure.
honor and a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, it really was.
All right, sir. Can we get a picture with you?
Yeah, sure. Be honored.
Greg, we'll do it right in front of the couch, okay?
All right.
Cool.
Let me see if I got my camera.
Oh, you have your own camera?
Yeah, unless you could.
I'll email it. I'll email it.
You a long drink of water.
Yeah, he's tall, isn't
Well,
he?
yeah.
How many you want to get?
Boy, you're not messing around here.
Okay, guys, right here. Greg, right here. Also, take 2 pictures. 1, 2, 3. And one more with the flash. Hold on. Everyone stand up straight, please. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I never thought in my life I'd get to stand next to you in a picture. I mean, all the years I spent listening to your music and sitting in a room by myself, it's a great honor to be with you.
Thank
Really
you,
is.
sir.
Truly is.
I hope you
It's quite
enjoyed.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed your stay with us.
I did.
Good.
Can't wait to come back and maybe you have people come in and DJ.
Oh, yeah, anytime you want.
Absolutely.
Still be sitting there though in case I.
In case you screw it up.
No, in case I run out of yep.
We'll be there for you.
If we're there, you won't run out of anything. Don't worry. We got plenty to say.
Yeah, we're verbose.
Greg, may I talk to you for 1 sec? So you mentioned to me before the interview you didn't know much about Howard. What do you think of him now that you've sat down and had a long talk with him?
Nice guy. Very nice dude.
Nicer than you expected him to be?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What did you
There's
think
a lot
about
of ghost stories around about him.
What did you hear about him prior to coming in? What were your preconceived notions?
It doesn't matter.
Right. How does his interview style differ from all the other interviews you've done over the years?
Well, he gets like more into it. Like, first of all, he does his homework. That's for sure. I mean, thoroughly. And he, I don't know. I was expecting all these questions that I say. I mean, I can't answer that.
So he's a lot more laid back and conversational than you had previously thought he would be.
Lots more.
Cool. It seems a nice
but
bond.
Then, like he says, we're not we're not kids anymore, you know.
Sort of got into a more laid back situation, laid back vibe.
Yeah, it's all gotten a lot more sophisticated.
Cool. Well, hope to see you again, and good luck with your book.
All right, thank you.
We'll talk to Slash, see what he's up to. Slash, of course, of Guns N' Roses. I'm always fascinated by that whole situation.
And I wonder, I mean, does the money that comes from Guns N' Roses music,
Right.
Does he still get?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, because Slash, the whole band actually wrote a lot of those songs. What would happen is a lot of times Slash would come up with the riff, and then Axl will hear it and write some lyrics or something like that. And, you know, I mean, Slash will tell you when he's in here. So, yeah, money is still being made, but you know how much money is on the table? Like, if the original Guns N' Roses got together and went on tour, they'd all make a fortune. But Axl hates Slash so much.
And it seems to be Slash in particular.
Oh, yeah. He can almost put up with the other guys, but he hates Slash.
What could Slash have done?
You know, it's time for Slash to be a little introspective and really figure this out with me.
Right.
Which we'll do when we get back.
All right, let's bring in Slash.
That was a terrible intro.
Old friend of the show, really cool dude. Guns N' Roses, man. You know what I'm saying?
Legend of rock.
Where's your Guns N' Roses shirt today?
I have it tattooed on my wall. I can't talk about where it is, but
okay. Well, we're gonna bring Slash in.
Okay. That's better.
It's always interesting when Slash comes in.
I concur. Slash, what's up, man?
Hey, man.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been fucking ages. I thought Howard didn't like me anymore.
Oh, definitely not. He loves you. Right this
Am I
way, sir.
following you?
Yeah. So you've got a new album now. Or coming out.
I know it came out today, or it's coming out today. It's, I think after 10.
Cool, man. So you've done the show many times. Is there any fear or trepidation when you come here, or you just?
I'm usually okay, but there's always a little bit of like, what does he want to talk to me about? Anxiety, you know.
Are there any issues that you're thinking of right now that you think you might bring up that you're not willing to talk about? Or
if I don't bring it up now, it might not even come up. You know.
See, that's a veteran of the Howard Stern Show right there. Yeah. All right, man. Have fun.
All right, cheers.
My next guest is part of a legendary band, one of my favorite bands of all time.
And it wasn't a very long time that they were together at the top of their careers.
Yeah.
It sort of disintegrated at the height.
There he is, a man who everyone respects, a man who came up the hard way. He was no poser.
Wow, that's different.
What?
The
mic and the thing? Yeah, with your hair and everything.
You haven't been here since we started doing that?
No, I was. Last time I was here was 5 years ago.
Wow.
Here is a man.
Wow, look at this place.
Here is a man who is worthy of Gary wearing his blazer.
Yes, he got the blazer.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Hey there.
You changed your legendary hat. You know, in a way, the hat is the most brilliant thing. Forget the guitar playing and forget all the great songs. You know, a lot of lead guitar players can't distinguish themselves. In a sense, your iconic hat, the top hat, it instantly made you special. Am I correct?
I don't know. I mean, it definitely became like a thing that got recognized. It wasn't intentional, you know, so I didn't sort of see it coming, but then eventually it did. It became like a signature kind of a thing.
Do you still wear it on stage?
Yeah, I wear it on stage and, you know, for photos and stuff, but you don't wear it on the street anymore because it's just...
It's ridiculous.
It's like
ridiculous. Hey, there's Slash in his hat.
I couldn't think of a better word, yeah.
When you were first starting out, did you wear it in the street, the hat?
Uh-huh.
You did. And would it blow off in the wind? Because it's a stovepipe kind of hat.
You know what?
It's like Lincoln.
It's just tall enough to be tall, but just short enough not to get knocked out by a gust of wind.
But doesn't it take balls to wear a hat like that? Seriously, I mean, people notice you when you wear a hat like that. I bet you caught a lot of shit for wearing that hat.
How old were you when you decided to wear that hat?
Yeah, that's a good question. I no one ever gave me shit for it.
No? Well, you're a tough guy.
But, you know, because you just wear it and you're like in everybody's face, especially, you know, that was sort of like the way it was anyway. It was sort of like, this
How
is what
old
we
were
do.
you?
20.
Okay.
Is it true you stole that hat?
Uh-huh.
You stole it. Where did you steal it from?
A place called Retail Slut.
Retail Slut
on Melrose,
and you couldn't at the time. You had no money. I mean, it's pretty legendary. You guys were broke.
I was walking around Melrose. We had a show that night at the 𝗦𝗵cie, and I guess I was just cruising around looking for shit to pilfer. And
did you steal a lot of stuff at that point in your life? Where you were,
no, I wasn't. I sort of got past my klepto phase, but every so often I would lift something that wasn't going to turn anybody a huge profit, you know.
How do you lift a hat that size, though?
Just sort of walk out with it casually, and people just don't really notice.
Is that the truth? Like, you can't tuck it under a jacket?
No,
or
you
something?
just had to sort of, and it was busy in the store, and I sort of knew, you know, I knew.
Slash, did you ever feel guilty stealing the hat in the sense that it became your...
From Retail Slut? No.
You never sent them the money back?
Tammy Downs from Faster Pussycat used to work there.
Yeah, but in a sense... in a way, that became like your good luck symbol. And when you steal it, doesn't that fuck up your karma? Maybe that's why all the lead singer problems.
Because not too long after that, I got drunk at the Cat House and passed out, and someone stole it from me.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
And then you had to go get another one?
Yeah.
You paid for that.
And then I had to pay for the next one. Yeah.
How many of those hats do you own?
I only have like 4.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and one of them Lemmy just gave me.
Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Which was actually very nice of him. He went and bought me a cool top hat. But
is the top hat?
But the other ones are really old. I mean, I've had them for a really long time.
And the top hat stays on your head no matter what, because when you're on stage,
you got a lot of hair.
It doesn't. It's only come off a couple times.
Right.
You know, just from banging your head so hard that you know.
No, I'm not saying this facetiously. I think it's not that you had a calculated move, but it is a brilliant move because it distinguished you right away. And if you remember the time that Guns N' Roses became huge, there were so many bands. I mean, and maybe you resented, did you resent Motley Crue and sort of were you and Guns N' Roses sort of the anti?
Well, Motley Crue, I never resented Motley Crue because they always, I first became aware of them, actually Nicky Sixx, back when he had a band called London. So he was like the original sort of glam metal guy from the 70s, from the late 70s. So when he started Motley Crue, it was way ahead of everybody else.
So you didn't resent those guys, but there were a bunch of bands that kind of.
But then after that, then everybody was, I think from Van Halen on, really, it was when that sort of whole spandex thing came in, and we were definitely the antithesis of that. We hated that shit.
But what was weird, Axl then would sometimes go on stage and almost, wear the kilt and the stockings and the, he almost went to that look, but
no, it was still different.
It was right,
and it's just an attitude, the thing about Guns N' Roses in the club days, I mean, in general, was just a very much a fuck you. This is what we do, which was a genuine attitude, and how we went around. Whereas everybody else was all trying to jump on the bandwagon.
Would Guns N' Roses ever have a meeting about clothing? Now I know this sounds weird. No, but think about it. If one of the guys showed up in spandex, or something that sort of was reminiscent of a spandex kind of band or something, wouldn't you sit those guys down and say, look, we represent a certain thing in rock and roll. We're very pure about it. This looks ridiculous.
No, it wasn't as image conscious. We just sort of, everybody had their own sort of thing, and I mean, the way the band sort of fell together, it was like we were the only 5 guys at that time that really could make up that band. There was a lot of different incarnations of what ended up being Guns N' Roses in the first place.
Are you missing the original Guns N' Roses?
Was I in the original?
Are you missing the original Guns? Are you missing those days?
I don't miss it. Well, it's been a really long time.
It is, but yet it seems like so.
It's one of those kind of things where when it was at its coolest was really sort of before the 90s.
Right.
And that's something that you don't miss something like that. That's like, you do something really cool and you can't really recreate it, and you don't want to, I don't know, I don't dwell in the past.
But don't you think you could have made, where the music, when we were talking about how, bands, they create a sound and they create a kind of song.
Yeah, I'll give you an example.
And when they break up, nobody can really create what they did again.
Yeah, Slash.
You have that stuff that was recorded, which is cool.
Yeah, but Slash, what Robin's referring to is, just give me a second here to give you the theory, the way we see it, the way the Stern Show sees it. I was watching Mick Jagger on Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you watched it at all. Okay, I love Mick Jagger. I love the Stones. And he performed with the Foo Fighters, and he performed with Arcade Fire, and he performed even with Jeff Beck, which Jeff Beck's an incredible guitarist. True?
Oh, Jeff's my favorite guitar.
Yeah, I think he maybe is certainly one of mine.
Yeah.
And, as good as those moments were, and it was fun, it felt like the old Saturday Night Live when there was something exciting happening. When he's not standing there with the Stones, it's just not the same. And I can't put my finger on why. I can't tell you exactly. I mean, all the musicians in the Foo Fighters are fabulous musicians. It just wasn't the Stones, And it's the same thing with Guns N' Roses. Forget the money that's on the table. If Axl could get his shit together and get back with you, I mean, I can't even imagine.
It would never happen.
Why? I know I've asked you this 100 years ago, but I don't understand what's going on. He hates you. Axl hates you.
Well, he I mean, that's pretty obvious, but
why? Do you have any? Have you ever seen a shrink about that? Have you ever said, I got to do some introspection here? What did I do to set this guy off?
I know exactly what it was.
What was it?
I didn't. Axl had a plan to sort of take over the whole sort of Guns N' Roses thing, and we gave up the name and all that kind of stuff, and no one really gave a shit.
Right.
Because the premise was is if it breaks up, then I want to keep the name. If it breaks up, no one cares.
Right.
And then when he started to put together his own Guns N' Roses, and it was a contract, and I was like, and that was it. And so it's been, and also because when I first, I mean, I'm just spitballing, but when I first joined Velvet Revolver, and I hadn't been asked really too much about the sort of Guns N' Roses stuff, and it brought up a very bitter, so next thing you know, there was this whole sort of press run where I really sort of denounced Axl and that whole thing, and I'm sure that had some stuff to do with it. But what the thing is I don't dwell on all that stuff. I mean, I'm not real fond of it either.
You're not fond of him either.
But
right?
I don't want to take that route. I don't have time to be worrying about it, and it's not really, outside of dealing with media stuff, it's not really a concern.
I guess people don't understand it because, from my point of view, I look at a band, and a band that's successful is like a 1 billion to 1 shot. Let's face it. You've heard great bands that never made it.
For me, like I saw this video of us that I'd never seen before from 1987.
Right.
And there's no full-length concert or club shows or anything on video that I know of that I've seen. And that was that moment. It's almost so cool because it's the fact that it lasted as long as it did. It's
a miracle.
Me. Yeah. And so I love it for that.
But there was a time you guys were tight and that you really loved each other.
When you first started losing band members, that's when it started to go on sort of, and that's when I started to realize that chemistry between the original 5 guys is what made it work.
And what made it work to me is that it was the songwriting process.
What was that?
Didn't you write most of the music?
Well, no. I mean, I wrote a lot of, I came in with a lot of really cool sort of riff stuff that you'd be real familiar with. But as a songwriting team, we really did it together. I mean,
the whole band.
Yeah, we'd sit in a room. I mean, those songs really, from a musical point of view, I don't want to speak on a lyrical point of view, but from a musical point of view, they almost wrote themselves. Like, a song would take maybe, some hours to finish from top to bottom.
Amazing, right?
So it was just that kind of, it was...
But Axl would come up with the lyric?
Mm-hmm.
And so
unless Izzy did. Sometimes Izzy came up with lyrics, too.
And you would sit there maybe, like the way I heard it went in your band is that you'd be sitting there and go, and then all of a sudden, then Axl would walk in and go, hey, man, I could sing to that.
Well, there's no sort of set pattern. I mean, songs really came out of whatever was going on at that time. So there's no rule as to how the songs were written. But sometimes there'd be a riff and it would inspire the other guy and we'd start jamming on it, and then Axl would hear it, and we're talking about like the old stuff. And then as we got into like the User Illusions records, then there was a whole different dynamic.
Right, you guys were famous by then and wealthy,
fucked up and famous,
and on drugs, and so fucked up that the whole process changed.
It was just hard to get it together to get in the studio to do that, but we finally did. And it was actually a pretty amazing accomplishment.
I think it's amazing because you guys couldn't get on stage on time. That was a whole other fucking deal.
Yeah.
That wasn't you. That was Axl, clearly, because he's still pulling that stuff.
That was a really hard one for me to deal with. I think more than anything because there's that you get very anxious to get going before it's even time to get on there. An extra 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, what
after
was
that? And you're like, dude, I can't tell you.
And don't you lose a lot of money that way?
Yeah, it's expensive.
You got to pay overtime.
You pay the union dues.
Yeah. Oh my God, they have a hard out, and you better be out of there. And you guys wouldn't go on till 11 o'clock at night for an 8 o'clock show.
Right. Well, or even later. So.
Could you ever sit down with Axl and say, hey, look, we're bros. We work together. Why are you showing up so late? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean,
and if you did that, you probably were the enemy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was attempted to try and reel that in.
Were you the chosen guy that always had to speak up and yell at Axl and say, "Listen, you're not on time"?
It wasn't. I mean, I had moments I think where it came up, but I mean, at that point we were so disconnected. Like Axl had his dressing room and the rest of us would just be polishing off vodka in the other dressing room.
That's a death sentence when the lead singer becomes his own, it's his own dressing room, right? That's the death sentence to a band.
It would make a great movie.
And in a sense, with Velvet Revolver, and I still say for Stealing the Hat, this is your curse. Every lead singer you get gets more fucked up than the next one. Like, that's just going to be your lot in life.
No, I'm actually working with a guy right now who's amazing. He's the complete polar opposite.
Who is that?
So I think that's sort of been my blessing. His name's 𝗦𝘁𝗿𝗍𝗍. I'd heard about him before Scott, right?
Scott Weiland.
Yeah. His name came up during the singer auditions for Velvet Revolver. And I mean, that's the first time I heard his name. I wasn't familiar with him. I didn't know how much, how well he sang or anything.
Right.
And but he never showed up we sent him some music. He was,
What is with these singers?
He was interested, but then he never called back. And then Scott came into it, and we did the whole run with Scott. And then when we parted ways with Scott, Miles' name came up again, and this was like in 2008. And
where's Miles been? What band is he
He's
with?
in a band called Alter Bridge now.
Okay.
And so when I was doing my last record, which had all these different singers on it, at the tail end of making the record, I had these 2 songs left over that I'd never been able to figure out who should sing them.
Right.
And so, you know, at the end of the record, here are those 2 songs still staring me in the face. And Miles had been called in at that point to sing for the ill-fated Led Zeppelin. Well, it never happened. Led Zeppelin tour. So who's this guy? He's got to be good. I've been hearing about him for years.
You mean Jimmy Page was considering making him?
They flew him out to London.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Because Robert Plant's being a pain in the fucking ass.
Exactly. So and I like Robert. I'm not going to go there for whatever reason. You know.
But these lead singers, they won't go along with the game plan.
So I heard about that, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to just take a shot in the dark, and I'm going to call this guy. So I called him up, told him what I was doing, and I sent him a demo, just an instrumental. And a couple days later, it came back with an amazing vocal on it. So he lives in Spokane, so I flew him out to L.A., and we met, and he's like just really, really down-to-earth, very unassuming, and he's a brilliant singer.
Does it kill you inside that here you are, maybe one of the best guitar players in the world? I'll give you my list later. Maybe one of the best guitar players in the world, and you can't sing your own fucking songs.
Well, I could sing. I just don't like singing.
But doesn't it kill you that you have to put up with these assholes? Imagine if you could just sing like the way you want to be.
Because I'm so stubborn about the simple fact that I don't enjoy singing.
Can you sing fairly well?
I mean, I can sing. I have a good rock voice, but I don't like singing.
But what's the problem? I mean, you know, listen, I don't like doing this, but I do it.
Well, no, come on.
Come on, I'm being serious. There are days I don't want to do it, but
you know, the whole sort of, one of my definite shortcomings, of which I have a few, right, is just communication. I don't like talking.
Right.
And so, like, in this context, I do it because I'm, you know, promoting
an album.
And I do it. So it's part of the gig, and I get through it. But other than that, I'm not a real talkative guy. I don't express my feelings. The last thing that I want to do is emote verbally in song. That's the last thing I want to do.
Do you sing backup vocals?
When I feel like it.
But did you do that with Guns N' Roses? Did you sing any of the background?
Here and there, but not on the record. I don't think I sang anything on except for on Use Your Illusions I did, but on the first record I didn't sing anything. I didn't need to.
That's amazing to me with all the crap you've put. I mean, like, not only was Axl Rose a disaster in terms of your interpersonal relationships, Scott Weiland.
Look how remarkably entertaining it is.
I mean, life's not dull.
I quit the band 16 years, almost 17 years ago, and still.
Yes,
but it wasn't a seminal band.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
But what dredged it up? What dredged it up again was this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, what ridiculousness! Did you expect Axl to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No, I mean, you know, I didn't even expect to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There was there was a lot of mixed feelings about it. I mean, what
is your feeling about the Rock and Roll Hall? Do you think it's stupid?
I mean, no, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's a great concept. I think it's a great idea
to honor rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. That's killer. But I think the reason for the mixed feelings, more than anything, is who runs it. You know, I mean, there's
Rolling
very
Stone.
Expensive tickets involved. Well, I mean, I never paid attention to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame until 2007. Velvet Revolver played for Van Halen.
Right.
And that was my first real exposure, you know, really paying any kind of attention to it. And it was like a suit and tie affair at the hotel, you know.
Right.
And, you know.
At the Waldorf.
Anyway, so.
And when you see businessmen standing there who can only afford, the only guys who can afford to go are these businessmen, you kind of go, wait a second, this doesn't feel very rock and roll.
And there was a couple of hip-hop guys that got inducted that night and so on. But, I mean, Keith Richards was there.
Is it good that hip-hop guys get inducted? Or is it wrong because it's supposed to be rock and roll?
Well, I mean, like the Beastie Boys just got inducted, but to me, they're not
rock and roll.
They're both they do both, you know. So, and it was sort of cool because they're very sort of different. They're not mainstream.
But I think your point
is full-on hip hop. I'm like, how does that?
Who are you citing, for example? Because I'm having a hard time.
I forgot who it was.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was.
But was it
like Run DMC, or was it? I think it was.
No.
Oh, hold on.
Run DMC?
No, because they did Walk This Way.
Was it Grandmaster Flash?
Maybe.
Yeah,
it could have been.
Yeah,
and I mean, he's obviously really influential. But when you talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's those two words at the front, the rock and roll. Which.
By the way, you inducted Van Halen, but
we didn't induct.
Well, you
Van
played
Halen,
for them.
We played for them. Yeah.
Were you shocked at all to see that the new Van Halen tour that was just about to hit the road has now officially been called off yet again? I mean, is David Lee Roth, Axl Rose, and is Eddie Van Halen you?
You know what? I only go. I've been hearing mixed, a lot of different stories about that.
What have you heard?
Apparently, well, first it was internal problems, but
like what?
I don't know.
That David and Eddie can't get along with any lead singer.
But since then, I've heard that they're just tired. They've been going at it pretty hard since I saw him play in L.A. I don't know how many months ago. So they've been.
But Slash, to book a whole tour and then just suddenly drop out is very unusual, and also kind of wrong to do to the venues and the fan, right?
Well, I don't want to don't put me in the spot.
Why? But I want to know your feelings on this because it seems to me this is like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I don't feel anything in particular about it. It's their trip. Is
David Lee Roth the problem?
The only person that can explain that reality is those guys.
But here's the question: is it David Lee Roth that's a problem? I'm going to say
no.
But
is it canceled or is it postponed?
Canceled, I think. That's what I read. But I again, from my mind. Not that it's all about the money, even like wow, if they could just go out for a couple of dates, which doesn't seem like it wouldn't be that bad to do and be fun.
And it seems like it's a good job, it's a fun job.
And you get millions of dollars. Can't Axl or David Lee or Eddie Van Halen or you put everything else aside? I mean, how much money do you think would be on the table if you had an original Guns N' Roses tour, mainly you and Axl?
I've heard a lot of figures being bandied around there. They're in the multi-million. Kind of things.
Could you use multi-millions? Sure.
Yeah, but not at. It's just not going to happen.
It
not
really
worth
isn't.
It's not worth it.
Had Axl shown
too
up,
many conflicts of interest to it's like, as far as I'm concerned, and this is just sort of my sort of old school naive way of looking at things, but I believe in it. Is I was lucky enough. I mean, half the battle is finding something that you love to do. Right. The other half is having a good time doing it, and it was miserable, and I don't want to go back there. I don't
miserable. Not the first couple of years, as you say.
No,
in
the first
80s.
couple of years, everybody pulled their own weight. Right. It was cool. We were all in the same struggle. But
the misery started when
Success.
Axl went into his own dressing room, kind of years.
It just got to be difficult, and and people can point fingers. They can say it was my fault. I don't, whatever. It's just it wasn't worth it. Yeah.
Have you ever?
And I really felt like we'd really run the gamut as far as
musically.
Yeah, because we really stopped creating anything and being inspired. When those Use Your Illusions records were being done.
Did you make enough money that you never had to work again too? I mean, between the publishing,
that all depends on how much you spend.
Well, are you a big spender? I'm
not really a big spender, but I do. I have my overhead.
But you're a shitty businessman.
But my wife's great.
Is she?
Yeah, she's.
Didn't you lose like $500,000? You bought a house and then you decided you didn't want the house, and then you tanked on $500,000, right? That's a lot of money.
Wasn't quite $500,000.
No,
I know.
But you lost some money on.
But I lost some money on the house. Right. Yeah, but then I turned around and sold another house and made some money.
So you're okay financially.
Yeah, I'm not struggling financially. But all things considered, I really try to stay away from doing stuff for money that I don't want to do.
When you think about,
and unfortunately, all the cool stuff that I like to do doesn't make shit.
But have you ever? Because I used to read stories about you showing up where Axl was going to perform.
Well, no, there was
I heard those too.
One time where. Let's see, I can't. It's like 2001 2001.
Yeah.
And I went to a gig in Vegas because I'd been there prior to that, and I'd seen an ad at the hotel for a gun show.
Right.
I thought this would be interesting, and then I get there, and there's been strict whatever to keep me out of there. And then I just and at that point I hadn't paid any attention to it. Yeah.
When they tell you can't go, is that when it kicks in? You go, I'm getting in there.
I was like, are you kidding me? And I was with I think we were married at that point.
Yeah.
And we just checked in. We just went to another hotel and partied, and that was that.
But is it a weird experience to see a guy playing your guitar licks with your former lead singer? Like, it's almost like a tribute band in a sense, because those are your licks. You see, to me, what makes you a great guitar player isn't getting up every night and performing those things.
It's actually flattering.
Is it?
Somebody has to go and do all that. And really, realistically, I'm just happy he's happy.
It's not weird for you? Like, if I was in Led Zeppelin...
I've never actually seen it, though, or heard it. I know of it, but I don't follow.
Because you didn't get to see the show that night.
Right.
Right. They threw you out. Is it embarrassing to get thrown out?
And that was 18 guitar players ago.
Right.
I mean,
But is it embarrassing to get thrown out? I mean,
it wasn't. Well, I mean, these guys wouldn't let me out of my room.
Right.
And they were apologizing. They said, we were told to do this. We think it's really stupid. But
was it embarrassing?
Not really.
Yeah.
It was like, actually, I think it was sort of like, really, this that big a deal.
What makes you a great guitar player, to me, is not necessarily the fact that you can get up and play your own songs on a stage and do it well. The fact that you created those licks, that you created that sound, that you created on a record somewhere, that's what makes you the great guitar player, not going out and, having some guy sit there and play the same exact thing that you do and make it sound that way. That's what he's missing the point. He can hire 50,000 guys who can all recreate what you did, but they can't create the original stuff that goes on in the studio. That's the fucking shame of all of this. Now, if I could sit down with you fuckers, I would explain to you this, and I'd get you all together, knock your heads together, and get this thing going. I could.
You
want me to do it?
I don't think anybody cares enough.
I care.
I know, but
you don't even care. Well, if you don't care, forget it. Then I don't care.
I mean,
but look at your history for a second. So then you leave this fucking Guns N' Roses. And the coolest band in the world, even the logos and everything else, just cool. Every kid wanted to tattoo it on themselves. Then you hook up with this guy from, what's his name? Stone Temple Pilots, Scott Weiland, who I know. And here we go again. You say, I believe, that wasn't even fun. Like at the time when I saw you with him, you were like, yeah, man, this is great because you're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
But it was horrible too, right?
Yeah, but that was, all things considered, that was something that I think we knew going into it, what we were getting into.
That it was going to be a disaster?
We just wanted to play.
Right.
And it was me and Duff and Matt, and just like, we had done this gig where it was a fundraiser for a friend of ours that had passed away.
Yeah.
And so the guys from @𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏, Steve Tyler, Cypress Hill, Duff, Matt, myself, all got together and played that night. And Duff called me up the next morning and goes, that was a kick-ass gig. We should do something with it. And it was very inspiring. And I was actually about to put together a solo project at that time. I was sort of do what I'm doing now, and I started piecing it together then. And so I got sidetracked with Duff, and we went and started putting this thing together. And we were auditioning like, I'd say or at least listening to about 200 singers a week for about 10 months.
It's like America's Got Talent.
Man, it was miserable.
And what do you do? When you audition a singer, they come up in front of you, they play a little bit with you, they sing, and then you have to turn to them and go, okay, next.
Yeah, more or less. It's a little bit more personal than that. It's like, it's just the guys in the band in a funky rehearsal room.
Right.
And the guy comes in and you say, hey, and try to make people feel as comfortable as possible.
Do you know right away if a guy's working or not?
Sometimes you can tell right the second they walk in.
Like 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
Even his attitude.
But then, and then sometimes, you go through a few songs and you work at it trying to see exactly what's missing or
do you call those guys afterwards and say, look, hey, we thank you for doing this, but
something like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Exactly
it's got to be a weird scene.
The process is. But anyway, so then the idea of Scott came up. And I was the only guy in the band that didn't know Scott.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about his history. I'd heard some crazy stories about STP. But, Duff and I were like fresh out of detox, right?
Oh, God.
And we thought, we can fix this guy. But you know what happened was, with all fairness to Scott, he was a mess when we got going. But we wrote a couple good songs, and but
you don't like him personally?
No, I like him better not in a band with him than I do in a band with him.
Right. What went wrong? Did you see a lot of Axl-isms in him?
There was a lot of
diva shit,
uncontrollable diva stuff,
like the separate dressing room again.
Yeah, I mean, just like serious rock star stuff that I was just like.
What is serious rock star stuff? Give me an example.
That's just when your sense of entitlement is just to the point of being so inconsiderate to the people around you that.
Does it go from?
You can't work in a group situation. You've got a crew. You've got management. You've got the guys in the band. You've got all these people all sort of working together as a team. And you got this one guy that has decided he's going to dictate to everybody what's going to happen, then not even show up.
Right. And so the behaviors become everything from where's my green tea and why's my honey not here?
I can't find my shoes in my hotel room. I can't,
Right, literally, they become like infants.
I'm going to get some coffee. I'm going to wander down the street, and then you can't find him, and it's 5 minutes to showtime. Just like, it's classic stuff. But anyway.
And does he ever apologize and say, gee, I'm sorry?
I mean, actually, what happens is it's a chemical thing or something where they just don't realize they're doing anything wrong, and that's when it's.
Where does that entitlement come from? Does it come from a mother who never said no?
I think it's just fucking extreme narcissism.
It is. It's like no empathy for anyone.
But do drugs create that? Do you
drugs
think?
help. Yeah.
Well, they're going to intensify those
drugs
feelings.
and booze, and egos and all that stuff. We all have them. I mean, it's not like I'm fucking innocent of all this shit. But there's an extreme that you can go to where it just makes everything a miserable process.
That diva stuff I don't get because I would be embarrassed. You know what I mean?
I mean, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you show up and
you perform
and you sort of treat the people around you with enough respect so that they can.
How do you end that whole situation though? How do you end Velvet Revolver? Like, do you just call up Scott and go, look, man, we can't deal with this anymore?
There was, I think we canceled Australia for the second time.
Yeah, that kind of gives it. Have you seen him since?
Yeah. And at that moment, and it was to go to rehab, one of many stints at rehab.
Yeah.
And
does
it was
rehab
right
not
after
work?
a show. Just depends. It's like anything else. It depends on how committed you are when you go in.
Rehab worked for you, right?
Yeah, it worked for me, but it took me a long. I refused to go to rehab until I finally decided I wanted to get clean. And I needed a place to go where nobody was going to bug me, so I could just get my shit together.
You stopped smoking cigarettes too, right?
Yeah.
But that's probably more. Was that what's more difficult to get off, heroin or cigarettes?
Cigarettes is an ongoing thing that never goes away.
Oh yeah.
And I have nicotine supplements, so I'm not.
Oh, you do. But when's the last time you physically smoked a cigarette?
It's been more than 3 years.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah. So I still have my moments, like certain things trigger it, and you're like, "Oh, that looks good."
Yeah. But that's a tough one to break.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is harder than heroin, right?
I mean, it's not physically as stressful as heroin is, or alcohol, which is the worst one as far as I'm concerned.
Because coming off alcohol, you get the DTs. Is that the tough part?
Yeah.
And you just rather take a drink than experience
that's why I used to drink 24/7, because I learned way early on, if you get up in the morning with a hangover, you can just drink it away, and did that for 25 years.
Did you ever get to the root of why you drank? Did you ever sort of get into rehab and really do that hard work and say, man, there's something going on here with me?
Yeah, but it's a long conversation. But a lot of it, it was all fun and games for the longest time, but it wasn't until I'd say in the 90s when it became a necessity. And it became that crutch to sort of get you through, which is one of the reasons why I don't ever want to go back into that situation, because it was literally like the peacekeeper, the thing that pacified you to get through those 3 years of touring with those last guns thing.
Do you think if it wasn't for guitar playing, you would have just ended up an angry guy, maybe even just a criminal or something like that?
No, I'd be doing something artistic.
Yeah.
That was always the main thing.
What else artistic do you do?
I draw. I draw or paint or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Probably paints nude chicks.
Right.
You miss all the. You're still married, right? You got back with your wife.
Yeah.
You guys have. Everyone in your life, you've had fucking incredible problems. There's no peace for you.
Well,
your lead singers, your wife. Yeah. Isn't this like the second time you married her?
Well, no, we had our 10-year anniversary, so we renewed our vows for our 10-year anniversary. But we only had one stressful time, and that was really something that was more or less caused by somebody internally that fucking did the divide and conquer thing on us.
What do you mean? Who can do that?
She was in one side of the world and I was on the other, and started up
they said you were cheating and stuff?
All that stuff.
They told her all this shit.
It told me.
Were you cheating?
Was I? No.
And you thought she was cheating?
More or less, yeah.
Oh.
And they were really fueling it too.
Wow.
And telling me
was she cheating?
No,
she wasn't.
No.
Who would want to do that to a marriage? Who would want to do that?
Yeah, let's not get into all that one. But anyway, so
what do you mean? You know
to,
who the guy was that was feeding you all this shit?
It was
What was the motive?
It was I think. Well, I don't want to get into it because it's too complex to.
What the jealousy? What the fuck?
Let's talk about Guns N' Roses. Man.
What a life!
I'd rather talk about that.
Has life been difficult for you? Or?
No, man. I've had my moments. We were talking about Velvet Revolver, and there was. With all due credit to Scott, there was a period in there where we all fell off the wagon, like in 2005.
Oh, geez,
that's when I finally,
Yeah, you know what though? Hanging out with Scott, how can you not? Who could blame you?
We were a hot mess.
How long did you fall off the wagon for?
You know what? It was pretty much that it was a gradual thing. It started with a
beer?
No, it started with a bottle of Jack Daniels when we finished mixing or mastering the first record. And I was over at Sterling Sound, and I saw a bottle of Jack, and I've been clean for about 2 years. Right. And I saw this bottle of Jack. It just seemed like the perfect reward. So that was that controlled thing.
Did you say to yourself, like, hey, / I could drink a bottle of Jack Daniels and then never touch it again. Was it that kind of conversation?
I just figured, I don't think I put a lot of thought into it. But I'm sure.
Were you disgusted with yourself the next day?
No. I thought, I can control this.
Right. Yeah, it looks like
I'd never been to rehab at that point. I hadn't done any meetings. I didn't know anything about all that stuff. And I had a great time, but then when a lot of friction started with Velvet, then it became just very chaotic.
How much alcohol would you need to get drunk? Like, would you need...
I didn't even get drunk anymore. I mean, it was just sort of like a...
Maintain.
Yeah, you sort of have like that...
Like, you'd get up in the morning and have a drink?
Oh, yeah, drinking a cigarette. Sometimes
no shit.
I have the cocktail left over from the night before.
And just finish.
And that was really normal.
I mean, that is crazy. Right? Do you see how crazy that is now, or do you still think it's normal?
It does, I mean, I look back on it and go, that's I mean, even Ronnie Wood, who I used to go crack, he goes, dude.
Hey, dude, you're out of control. And this guy's in the stone.
I've been with Keith Richards, you're out of control.
Right, I mean,
so it took somebody else to point it out to you. But
God only knows what was in your head. It's something from childhood, right?
Well, I mean, I come from a drinking, like my whole British side of my family. My dad was a pretty good drinker.
I still love that your mom was dating David Bowie when you were a kid, and like you used to see him in the morning. I love that.
Looking back on those guys, they had some pretty extreme shit going on.
Have you seen Bowie at all, like recently?
I haven't seen him. I talked to him a few years ago.
Is he so proud of you? Did he recognize at the time when he was living with you and your mom?
Well,
did he recognize you were a great musician?
We had a bad experience where he went to a gun show in L.A.
What happened?
Axl berated him. And
whoa!
David was with my mom, and for some reason Axl got it into his head that he was after Aaron. And so from the stage,
Aaron, his girlfriend?
His girlfriend back then. And
Axl was so delusional, he thought Bowie wanted
so then
her.
he tripped, and so I think David just went.
Was David backstage when he got berated?
He was in the balcony in the front of the stage.
And so from the stage, Axl was berating Bowie. And what did he say to Bowie from
I can't remember, but whatever
it was,
he genuinely felt threatened.
Wow.
So it was a very uncomfortable kind of thing.
Isn't Bowie one of the greatest artists we have?
He's great.
He really is.
He's phenomenal.
Where is he now? You don't want... What is he
He's fat.
doing?
He doesn't want to be seen.
No,
that's what I heard.
Last I heard, he was working on a movie or something.
Have you seen him? I heard he got fat and he doesn't want anyone to see him.
I haven't seen him.
But I mean, who knows? Well, I mean, it's crazy. He's got to come out and say hello to everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Yep. Hey, I'm a judge now on America's Got Talent.
Actually, last night I was in my room and I was flipping channels, and I saw these guys with these sticks.
Right.
Nailing themselves in the balls, and
I believe how great that is.
And then I saw you, and you looked like you were having a good time.
Oh my
Sharon
God.
looked completely beside herself.
Yeah, right.
And I saw this thing, and I was like, and they're jumping off of one of the shoulders or something onto
a board.
And the dude wears no cup. Did you think that? But did you think that was the funniest thing you ever saw?
No, it was very unsettling. I only watched about 45 seconds of it.
Really?
I have the whole like I was talking to George about that earlier. I said I thought that was the greatest thing ever. It was funny, like
you don't
Jackass.
get into all that Jackass stuff?
It reminds me of my BMXing days.
Yeah.
It's a little unnerving. I went to go see the first Jackass, and I remember sitting there going, God, that reminds me when I was like 15 years old, 14 years old.
What do you think of I mean, you must be an Aerosmith fan. I can't imagine you're not.
I knew this was coming.
Well, I'm kind of curious. When Steven is now a judge on American Idol, and he's also doing Burger King commercials.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy to you, or how do you feel about it?
Well, the Burger King commercial doesn't faze me now because he'd already done the American Idol thing.
Right.
And I think initially when he signed on to do American Idol, I'm a huge Aerosmith fan and friends with all those guys.
Right.
And it was sort of like, putting the band aside to do this own personal feed of whatever it was.
Right.
And so I was very sort of anti that whole thing, and then I realized, it's whatever he's got to do whatever makes him happy.
But did it remind you of Axl again, because here's the lead singer putting his needs ahead of the band's needs?
I think that was the general feeling at the time at first, but then
as someone in a band, you don't understand that. You should put the band's needs in front of your own.
That's the thing, is you get into that kind of headspace where you're looking at what he's doing, but in talking to Joe about it, I know there was some tension for a minute, but they work it out, and you can't worry about what other people.
Has it been good for Aerosmith in a way? They say their record sales went up, and the
new audience.
I'm sure that it works, and
but
they've got a new album coming out. I think the most important thing, as long as you're producing new material.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you want to go fuck around doing this, and as long as you're working something. The thing that bugs me is just getting, in this day and age right now, the big thing is just getting famous for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, these kind of shows do make you famous for not having. And you'd be the first one to say, you know how much hard work we put into Guns N' Roses. Like before you guys popped, you were hanging around in the shittiest places.
And still, I mean, there's always like work going on as far as like producing new material and this and that and the other. And so no matter how visible you are, as long as you have something that's going on to back you up. But if you're just walking around looking for attention and you're not promoting something, you're just hey.
Well, have you done any of those shows?
I did American Idol you did a duet with a mentor thing, and Adam Lambert. It was the only time that I ever watched American Idol. Somebody called me up and said, "You got to check out this singer. He's really good."
He is good.
And I went and I watched him for a couple nights, and he was phenomenal. So I had a friend, somebody I work with, that his wife works down at CBS, and so I went down there to go see him in person, and they said, "You got to come on the show and do it." And I was like, "No, I can't do it."
Right.
It's the Antichrist,
Yeah, right.
And they talked me into it, and I went. And at that time, I was in the studio working on albums, so I didn't even have anything coming out.
Were you happy you did it?
It was okay. I mean, it was. An
Do you worry that
experience.
Axl's sitting somewhere going, "Look at him, he's on American Idol"? Do you ever think like, what does Axl think?
No, if I was to be concerned with that, it would drive me crazy.
You do nothing.
But they said you can do it however you want to do it, and we'll facilitate it for you. So we did it at the Roxy.
Right.
And they had to get on stage and sort of do it in this club kind of vibe. But Adam was singing, so it was cool.
Right.
But it was not something, it was an interesting experience. It's not something I'd want to create as my day job.
Yeah. And in a strange way, when I think about it, you're in such a unique position because you're such a great guitar player. You always need to go find that singer. And I remember you were saying at one point when you were doing a solo thing, you were thinking of putting Michael Jackson as a singer on your record.
Well, when I was doing that last record with all the different people on it, the thought crossed my mind it'd be cool to have Michael cross over and do like a really hard rock song, but I never pursued it.
You know why you never pursued it? It had to be I had a meeting with him once. It was the strangest thing ever. And maybe musician to musician, you have that sort of secret language.
I worked with him.
Yeah,
a bunch.
you did.
No, I know, but how weird is it when you work with this guy? Because he was out there, let's be honest.
Well, musician to musician, it was, there was really a lot of chemistry and there was a definite meeting of the minds there.
Right.
And so that was our relationship.
But when you sit down and you start to have a real conversation, there isn't any, right?
Well, I mean he comes from a different place.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you going to talk to Michael
But
about?
he's a good guy, but you got to
But you probably never approached him about singing on your record because it's so much of a fucking hassle to talk to the guy.
You know, it's just, it probably seemed like a little bit of an overwhelming kind of process to get that going. And then he passed away, not maybe 3 weeks after I had the thought.
You weren't surprised about that,
and I was still
were you?
in the studio,
Yeah.
I was actually a little surprised. I mean, I think I was hip to a lot of his issues prior to that, but I wasn't. Wait, that's the designer drug of the decade.
I was going to say, would you have ever? Can you imagine calling a doctor?
I was
and keep him on
surprised
staff?
when what's-her-face was getting methadone at her apartment.
Who's that?
What was her name?
What the hell is that?
We were actually friends with her for a while. I'm drawing a blank right now.
What did she do?
The blonde who had her own reality show that was sort of like the
Anna Nicole.
Yeah, she was getting
it was crazy.
big things. I was like,
were you friends with her for a while?
Yeah.
Did you ever do her?
No.
Big things of methadone.
Yeah, she had in her refrigerator. She had these.
Were you jealous?
A little bit. I was like, I never got that crap.
Did you? It's often been painted that the end of Guns N' Roses and that era of music was over because of bands like Nirvana. Did you guys hate Nirvana? Did you hate what they were about?
Yeah. No. I mean, Nirvana was great. I think that.
But they were critical of guys like you. They're like,
well, they were. I mean, I really, with all due respect to Kurt and Courtney and all that, there was some issues that happened having to do with Axl that I felt like they were totally right.
They were like,
it's like, it's one thing to be, recognized and famous and stuff. It's a whole different trip. You sort of take your own chances when you start acting like that.
Right.
But anyway, and there was some issues, but I always thought that the 90s was one of the early 90s was a really healthy sort of page for rock and roll.
Even though it meant the end of Guns
didn't mean shit. We were.
It meant the end of a certain kind of rock and roll.
It did. Well, it ended that. I mean, it was sort of that transition from hair bands and so on, which actually started ending after Guns made it anyway. It started to sort of dissipate. But when they came in, there was a new thing going on. But we were still playing stadiums, and if we'd stayed together, we would have just
And you agreed with the criticisms that Nirvana was making about Axl.
Well, there was. I remember what was going down, and you know, those criticisms were like, you know, I mean, all things considered, I sort of agree. You know?
Yeah. Well,
but
it's crazy, man.
But anyway, but that was a cool period. So, but I don't think that it had, you know, there was all that talk about like, will grunge into the whatever, and like for us, it had nothing to do with that.
Right. So grunge wasn't the arch enemy there.
No.
Yeah. Do you agree? Someone said that you're maybe the second great. I mean, lists or whatever you want to make of them, but you're like the second greatest guitar player in the world ever. You don't think that's true?
Are those hands licensed or insured?
Do you worry about your hands seriously? I mean, like, would you get into a fist fight with a guy and punch him out?
Well, you know, I box and stuff.
Yeah.
And I realize that's a lot of stress on my wrist.
It's stupid.
I can feel it later.
I mean, yeah.
But you know, I'm not overly what you call paranoid or anything. I don't like to leave my arm out the window when I'm driving.
Right. Do you play every day? Do you still sort of practice?
Yeah.
You do, because you love it.
Yeah.
Wow. What does that mean? Like, do you sit down and try to create new music, or do you play? What do you play?
Right.
What's
well,
a practice
I'm on the
session?
road right now.
Yeah.
And we got an album coming out today.
Right.
So
I should mention that
I'm doing it for you.
The new album is called Apocalyptic Love. Yeah, he's not here for his help. Apocalyptic Love is in stores now, and there's going to be a whole bunch of Slash tour dates. You can go to slashonline.com. You'll be with your new singer.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I'm on the road, you know, I write in my room, when, you know, after shows and stuff, and then in the dressing room I practice, and then we go up and play, and that's the best practicing, because there's a lot of improvising.
In your dressing room, you practice with your band?
No, just by myself.
By yourself? And what do you do? You go through the whole set list?
No, you just warm up, and you know, if you got some ideas, or you just sort of noodle around.
Who's your favorite guitarist in the world?
We were talking about Jeff Beck. He's the guy that has consistently been the most inspiring.
Was Hendrix an inspiration? Had to be, right?
Yeah, Hendrix. I mean, all those guys.
All those guys, yeah.
Clapton, Page, Keith Richards, Mick Taylor, Ronnie Wood. Yeah. You know, I mean, I could go on for days, guitar player. And that's why I'll never go, I agree with being in any kind of top 10, top 20, top 50 list of guitar players. That's very flattering, but it's also, you know, really embarrassing.
Hey, today's Rock Day. You know who's coming in next? Greg Allman's coming in.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I'm really excited about
Greg?
talking to him. You know him at all?
You know what? I think we met once, but I don't know him. We used to go out with the same girl.
Is that right?
No shit.
You know him through a girl.
I bet you Greg got more pussy than you did. And you got
you know what? I'm not going to argue with you.
I mean, Greg's the man. I bet you Greg drank when he got up in the morning, too, just like you.
God.
You two should go bond.
He drank right through a liver.
In fact, don't even talk to Greg, because you are easily influenced.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your sobriety is a little tenuous. I love seeing you.
It's good to see you, man.
Good seeing you, too.
Yeah.
Fun conversation. I wish you the best of luck. The new album is called Apocalyptic Love. Very difficult for a young man like myself to say. And also, Slash's tour dates. Go see Slash. It's... what is it? Slashonline.com, I guess. That's the place you go and you get all the different dates. It's great seeing you.
Really good to see you. This place looks great. I don't know if it's different than the last time I was in here, but
I don't know.
Nice to see you too. I've seen you a couple times in passing.
Yeah, we've run into each other out there. Yeah.
How'd you miss banging Robin? I don't understand that.
He was busy. He banged right past me.
That's right. Yeah, he banged right past you in the room. Well, look, Slash, I don't know when I'll see you again.
At some point, but
let's hope we run into each other.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a party animal, so I'm sure we hang out at the same time.
I'm going to come down and see you on the set of America's Got Talent.
You know when you got to come? We're going to be doing some live shows.
I want to see what competes with the guys beating the shit out of their balls.
No one. I think those guys are slam dunk winners.
I mean,
I can't believe
was that a talent?
Yes, it's a talent because he makes you laugh.
There was three of them, right?
There was three guys, and then one guy.
It took two guys to pummel the other guy's
and then
ball.
Nick, if you stay tuned, Nick kicked the guy in the nuts.
I should have stayed tuned. It was very unsettling.
I don't want to ruin anything, but in the finale, he cuts off his penis.
Yeah, right.
It's a laugh a minute.
No, Sharon doesn't.
Sharon circumcises him. All right, listen. All good things have to, come to an end. All right. The great, the one and only Slash.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too.
I can talk about. I can talk about.
I get to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I can talk about bands and lead singers.
I know.
Every day.
Oh God, those dynamics are crazy.
I was sitting in the green room and they turned up the volume and I was like, "Oh, we're going to talk about this." Because all I want to do is just get away from that. But everybody
can't get away from it because it's going to be endlessly fascinating to people because
You were so
fantasy,
successful.
but the fantasy is that everyone wants to be in a great band.
Yeah.
And then the fascination is, well, how can that go wrong? It can't possibly
You know
happen.
what? At this point, it's like if it were to get back together, it would last for like 5 minutes. People are like, "Oh, okay." So the fascination is with
Is the fact that it won't get back together. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You got it all figured out.
It's really good to see you.
All right.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Sash, before we went in, you mentioned the fear of the unknown when you go to the Howard show. I mean, you don't know what he's going to say next. You don't know what he's going to ask. Were there any questions in there that really took you off guard?
The majority of the first half of the interview was sort of like, "Oh, great," yeah.
I saw you try to turn it a few times. So
I
how
did
are you
actually.
doing, Howard?
It was funny how easily manipulated Howard could be subject matter wise, because I did change the subject a couple times and we get on a tangent. Of course, he'd bring it back eventually. Yeah,
Well, you knew inevitably he was going to ask you about the Axl stuff, given the recent.
No, I knew because before I went in there, I heard him talking about it before I came in. That's what he was going to ask me, so I was prepared.
Are you tired? Are you sick and tired of answering things about that guy?
I'm sick to death of it.
Do you wish he'd come here and sort of get grilled and have the balls to do what you do? All right, man. Apocalyptic love. Good luck with that, man.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Right, cheers.
Well, fabulous you last night.
Did you watch?
I did indeed.
I had a feeling you might be glued to your TV.
I felt so the pain you felt when that little boy started crying.
It was the worst.
I know exactly how you must have felt because I remember when I was reading to my grandniece. She was about 4 years old then. And one of the characters in the story I was telling her about died. And she said, "She died?" And I looked at her, and her eyes were welling up with tears. And I felt so...
Did you tell her to toughen up?
No, I felt so vulnerable
It's a stupid story,
and helpless, you know.
Yeah,
so
no.
I know exactly how you must have felt.
Oh, it's so crazy, too. Well, first of all, there's an article in the New York Post about this, that the kid and the family were confused because I was on stage and I said, did you see it at all, Robin?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I said, you're going to Vegas, because I was like, no way I'm breaking this kid's heart.
You're trying to stop those tears under any circumstances.
Yeah. And so afterwards, the producers came and they said, Howie and Sharon, how do you vote? And I said, what do you mean? And they go, well, they have to vote too.
Yeah.
I go, oh, that's right, they're on the show.
Right. It's not just your show.
Right. And so Sharon and Howie voted no. And their feeling was, look, he wasn't that strong, and no sense in bringing him.
You couldn't drag him through another rejection.
And so they told the kid afterwards, look, you're not going to Vegas. Just because Howard said he wants you to go to Vegas doesn't mean that you automatically go through. There are rules to the thing. So it said in the New York Post today that the family
was confused.
Well,
they are a confused family.
Well, I don't know the family, but I'll tell you what.
They sent their kid out there thinking he could rap. They're confused.
Right, yeah. Well, let's go to Jeffrey in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Howard. I just have to say it's great to hear George again this week. He's a welcome addition every time he's in. But,